Oh boy, I'm going to cover a lot today. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. These are just crazy times that we are living in, friends, I must tell you.
Protect your phones, laptops, and more from electronic device insurance, and cover your furry friends with a pet health insurance. Visit Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com. Stockbrokers for.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. This Sunday, December 15th.
All right, standing by. Welcome, everyone. My name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. And of course, I'm going to start with two topics that are very closely connected. And that's Daniel Penny's acquittal and Luigi, this healthcare CEO assassin. I'm going to talk about both of those. There's a big connection between the two. And we're going to cover it. We're going to take your calls. And there's a lot of other issues to get into as well today. Today is just a massive news dump of stories. Oh my goodness. Big news day. Welcome everyone. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. If you're already subbed, like the video. Here we go.
Lab test now of Boca at 561-237-5009. Any lab test now, Coral Springs number is 954-906-5983. Don't forget to mention that you heard about them on the radio.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show.
It sure is. All right, 4 minutes after the hour. It is Tuesday, December 10th, 2024. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 47 years, soon to be 48 years on the radio. All right, we got a lot to cover, just massive amounts of news yesterday. I'm going to start with two stories in particular, but there's a lot more to cover than these two, and take your calls. The Daniel Penny acquittal and Luigi, the healthcare CEO assassin. And there's a connection between the two that I'm going to get to and cover, and we're going to cover all of this. I'm looking, this headline in the Daily Mail, what caused the assassin, this is Luigi, to go absolutely crazy and vanish off the grid. His friends reveal his twisted path from Ivy League genius to anti-capitalist United Healthcare CEO killer. Now, this Luigi character, we're going to be hearing about him forever and a day because he's good looking, and they got all kinds of pictures, and they got pictures of him with his shirt off, and the women will like it, and the gays will like it. So he's going to be in the news for many years to come. But I'm here to tell you that I know what flipped this guy from this, and I wouldn't even say that he's been flipped. I think saying that he was, what did they say here? What caused this assassin to go absolutely crazy, vanish off the grid? His friends reveal his twisted path from genius to anti-capitalist. I don't think he flipped. I think that, like many, in fact most of these high-profile shooters that we've had in the last couple of years are just like Luigi here. Radicalized liberals that have been brainwashed by our university system, our public school system, and the mainstream MSNBC media. And what's happened here, this anti-capitalist, okay, this democratic socialism, you look at the last 3 high-profile shooters. This lunatic in New York, the golf course attempted assassin of President Trump, and the Butler, Pennsylvania Trump assassin. What do all 3 of them have in common? Liberals, leftist, radicalized liberals. That's what they have in common. In fact, Luigi here has something majorly in common with the Trump golf course assassin. They both are hanging out in Hawaii, which coincidentally is where Obama says he was born. I'm not saying there's a connection with Obama, but both of these 2 lunatics were in Hawaii. And what's happened here, this is, I've been talking about this a lot, the Obamification of America. They have brainwashed a generation, millennials, although they're getting old, millennials are going to like 40 now, but millennials and Gen Z, they have brainwashed a generation of young people in this country, the liberals, to be anti-capitalist, to be Marxist, to hate rich people, to hate heads of corporations, to hate white people, and just basically be hardcore Marxist radical revolutionaries. So I'm here to tell you that Luigi here, don't let them say, oh, he's crazy. Most everyone who commits murder is crazy. Our prisons are filled with lunatics. The only time they use mental health as an excuse is when they're covering up something. And what they're covering up is how young guys like this are radicalized to do what it is they do from our liberal education system and media. And if you go back with Kyle Rittenhouse, that Christmas parade murderer that drove his truck through the Christmas parade and murdered people, was radicalized by BLM and MSNBC to justify his anger towards white people and try to kill white people, and he did in response to the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict. So I'm here to tell you that now that we know who he is and there's others, these are just some of the high profile ones as of late. But you notice with these shootings that we're getting in the last couple of years, all of a sudden the media aren't interested in getting to the root cause of why it happened. Because these are radical leftists that have been radicalized by the hate speech of the left. And they've been so radicalized that they don't even know what they're doing is criminal. They're trying to stop Hitlers and white supremacists and Nazis and dictators, so they feel justified in doing whatever it is that they are doing. So that's that. And there really needs to be a discussion in this country of what's going on. Now, I want to tell you another thing, too. We don't have a confirmation of this, although it's being widely reported, that Luigi here used a gun that was made on a 3D printer. Now, I've been saying for years now that, the liberal talk of gun control is just, first off, gun control is never going to happen the way the liberals want it. But regardless, the debate over gun control is long over. And this is what I mean right here. If it's true, this is a 3D printed gun. If every single American turned in their guns, they were all destroyed, and the American people had a unanimous agreement that we weren't going to have guns anymore, instantaneously, the criminals would be 3D printing them all day. So now that the 3D printing technology is out there, gun control is just a stupid topic. It's an impossible thing to accomplish anyway. Now it's like uber impossible to accomplish because of the 3D printing, which is, that's just the reality of it. They'll probably want to ban 3D printers at some point, the left. They want to ban everything. But these things are happening because of liberalism in the age of Obama, with the generation of brainwashed people and activists inside the Democrat Party. This guy did what he did in New York because of the Democrats. Now, Daniel Penny's acquittal. The connection between Daniel Penny and the shooter of the healthcare. See, Daniel Penny should never have been arrested, should never have been charged. But this tub of lard, Bragg, who has a lot of guilt. Bragg grew up rich. His family's loaded. He went to private schools, but he wants people to think he's down with the brothers in the hood. So he's got no bail. He lets the people get terrorized by criminals. He prosecutes the innocent, like Daniel Penny and President Trump. The guilty people, they don't go to jail. And Daniel Penny should not have been arrested. He was arrested in this aftermath of BLM and everything else that's going on. You mean to tell me that if someone is anywhere in America and they see a man threatening to commit acts of violence against people, that if somebody steps up and stops them, that they're the criminal? Are you out of your mind? Daniel Penny should never have been arrested. It is a miracle that he's a free man today. I was watching Alan Dershowitz after the verdict. He was in shock that they didn't come in with a conviction on the lesser charge. And you know what? So am I. And I don't think I'm alone with that. Now, we're going to take our first break. There's a lot more to say. Your calls are also welcome on this. We got a lot to cover today. Our number is 1-888-465-2631. Do you agree with me that liberals are radicalizing these people, whether it's the Butler Trump assassin, the golf course assassin, Luigi? Let's not forget the Nashville shooter, right? Are the left preaching hate speech and radicalizing people to commit incredible acts of violence, insane acts of violence? I say yes. What do you say? 1-888-465-2631. We'll take our first break of this Tuesday and be right back. Welcome, everyone. If you're new, make sure you subscribe.
This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hello, it's Scott Shannon with a quick reminder that the oldies are back on right after 10 this morning, right here on South Florida's True Oldies Channel.
We'll be back shortly.
They're free.
Absolutely. Welcome.
Customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. So you're going to get an LED touchscreen band, 10 contacts, backup, battery, and service plan. Plus, if you're one of the first 22 oldies listeners to call 833-283-5050, you'll receive a free doorbell camera with installation of your slow and shield.
Stay by, guys. We'll be back shortly.
Good Tuesday.
All right, we'll be back shortly. Bragg. The prosecutor in New York. Monster. Should be just disbarred. We'll be back right after this.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at True Oldies FLA time.
Alrighty, we are back 17 minutes after the hour. If you're on hold, stand by. You know, proof of what I was talking about in the first segment, if you missed. Sorry, guys, got to rewind. Proof of what I'm talking about with the left radicalizing with their hate speech is you saw it, luckily, and amazingly, it fizzled, but Black Lives Matter came out and started inciting violence, which is a violation of the law. Inciting violence is against the law, and that's what they were doing, but nobody did what they asked because Black Lives Matter was exposed as a real estate scam, and they don't have any juice anymore. Now, I want to say this. Daniel Penny, what he did was great. We don't know too much about Daniel Penny. Be careful before you get yourself connected with some of these people. Now, I know Judge Janine on the 5 will be interviewing Daniel Penny. I keep on calling him Penny later today. I'm going to watch that this afternoon. But we don't know too much about Daniel Penny. You don't want to start supporting someone just because they did one thing that was heroic that you liked, because you never know. Okay? You know, if you remember, well, there's been a few. All right, so let's just find out. Well, I mean, I'll give you an example. Rittenhouse, Kyle Rittenhouse was trashing Trump during the campaign, trashing him. Right? So just because you back someone's acquittal in a case, wait until you get to know them a little bit before you start running them for Congress and stuff. You know, Daniel Penny may be spectacular. I don't know, but we really haven't heard him talk too much. Just be a little cautious. You know, we've had some of these high-profile guys, Rittenhouse, you know, Zimmerman and others, and after the acquittals, some of them go out and try to monetize their fame, and then things happen. And it's happened with Rittenhouse and Zimmerman, had some really strange things happen after their acquittal. So let's just let Penny, let's find out more about him. Let's watch the interview today and see how he reacts. Let's get to know someone, because I'm hearing, oh, he should run for the Senate, he should run for the Congress. Have we heard him speak yet? I mean, other than, you know, when he told the story, he seems all right to me. I mean, I'm not trashing Daniel Penny, don't get me wrong, but let's not put MAGA hats on him and shirts on him and start propping him up yet until we're sure. Because if you do that, and he screws up like Rittenhouse or George Zimmerman, then all of a sudden we're responsible for it. But his acquittal was shocking, I think, to everyone. But it's a real statement on this re-election with Donald Trump, this red pilling of America. If Kamala Harris would have won, would Daniel Penny have been acquitted? We'll never know, but his chances of acquittal, if Kamala, this wino, would have won, would have been less likely. I think we can at least agree on that. A lot of people don't like what's been going on with the woke cancel culture. And they've been keeping their mouths shut because they are afraid. We've been living kind of like in Nazi Germany. And before Elon Musk bought Twitter and turned it into X, we had this radical Hitler youth canceling people if somebody said something they didn't agree with, right? So the re-election of Donald Trump has allowed a lot of people to come out of the closet with some common sense, like the jurors in the Penny case. So we're in a very good position. We've gotten our country back from these radical BLMers. I mean, look at Kamala Harris. She was raising money to bail looters out of jail when they were burning down cities. And that's what's been running the country the last 4 years. We've been run by BLMers in the White House and people like that. And now things have moved into another area. Normalcy, right? Our long nightmare is over, and we've gotten our country back to some law and order, just common decency. All right, let's take some calls. Our number toll free, 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah.
Hey, Richie.
Yeah, what?
Hey, what's up?
You're coming. I don't know if it's your phone or the dial tone was different this morning, and you're coming across crackly. I mean,
What, on the phone or on the air? On the air or?
Yeah, even now you sound scratchy.
I don't know. What do you mean? You mean on your phone or when you're listening on the radio?
No, I'm listening. I called you, and your dial tone was different.
Just on the phone. Just on the phone, it sounds different.
On the phone, yeah, on the phone.
Oh, okay. Well, not much.
All right, here's the deal, Brian. First of all, I appreciate you trying to link up this crazy guy that shot the chairman of the board of politics, and maybe he was a liberal. Chances are 50-50. Maybe he wasn't even into politics. There's word out that one of his friends in Hawaii, and this is not justification what he did. One of his friends in Hawaii said that I think it was a girl, said that he had extreme pain from a disc that was slipped or something, and he was getting terrible pain with.
Yeah, I heard that BS. I know. Back pain made him do it.
It's terrible because he was on medication to kill the pain. Now, he might have been denied. He might have had United Healthcare. He might have been denied. He might have had a personal grievance. Regardless, he's a nut job. I wouldn't say.
I will tell you this, okay? I would be very surprised if Luigi is straight.
Is Luigi
straight, heterosexual? I would be shocked to find that he was not gay. I would, and I'll tell you, my wife and I both of our gaydar went off. Straight guys don't typically smile like he does, and he seems to work out a lot and everything else. I'd be shocked if he was straight. But what do you mean? I've never heard someone blame back pain for a premeditated, very calculated murder before, where they traveled from across the Pacific Ocean, across the American continent, all the way to New York to do it. I mean, come on.
Well, here's the deal. He wasn't in Hawaii, but he lived in Maryland. And
I know the whole thing. I mean, I could go through it. Let's read his bio like everybody else. That's exciting. I'm telling you, you're getting the back pain. He's good looking, okay? So because he's good looking, you're going to hear all these excuses, okay? Because the women want him, the gays want him, and he looks good on the news, okay? I've never heard someone say after a calculated murder like this, well, he had back pain. Come on.
Well, hold on a minute. Maybe he was denied an operation. So we don't know. I mean, I'm just being devil's advocate.
Devil's advocate, please.
I want to bring up New York real quick. The father of the black man that was killed on the train, the insane man who punched the lady in the face and broke her orbital bone, and he got a slap on the wrist, and he's a crazy man on a train.
Yes.
He's going to kill everyone and himself on the train. His father hadn't seen him in years. All of a sudden, his father wants vengeance, and they're telling him basically.
Well, does his father want vengeance or financial settlement?
Money. He wants money.
Exactly.
Obvious thing. But all these Black Lives Matter and these agitators.
Sorry, Dad. He wasn't killed by a cop. You're only going to get a settlement when they're killed by cops and the city has the money to pay. You're not going to get a big settlement from Daniel Penny.
No, it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous that they use race for every damn thing. That's what I'm trying to bring up. This was not a racial thing because the jury was all white. First of all, it's a liberal jury in Manhattan, and the same jury pool convicted President Trump. So they're all liberals. I mean, Manhattan is the most liberal place.
Listen, Richie, both of these things we're talking about today, the CEO killer and Daniel Penny, it's both liberal politics, okay? Look at the reaction from the liberals. I understand you're not going to get a lot of sympathy about anybody who's an executive of a health insurance company, okay? But you know, he's a human, he's a man. And you see these liberals who have been celebrating what happened because they don't, you know, they hate rich CEOs, especially of health insurers. You see how the left operate. This has this guy's an Ivy League. Now I got a break, but I appreciate the call. This Luigi shooter did what he did because he was brainwashed by liberal college professors, liberal media, and liberal school teachers. That's it. I don't hear anything about back. What have you ever heard back pain? Are you kidding me? Oh, my back hurts. Oh, well. Yeah. Oh, okay. You should have just said so. If his back hurt, why is he traveling so much on airplanes? That's not very good for the back. Denied treatment. His family's loaded. All right. Listen, if you're on hold, hang in there. We're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. Our number 1-888-465-2631. 1-888-465-2631. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. I'm Brian. We'll be right back. Give me a break. Back pain. What kind of BS excuse is back pain? Nonsense. Complete nonsense. Welcome, everyone. If you're new, make sure you subscribe.
Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyourecooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
We'll be back shortly, guys. We'll be back shortly, guys. Big one, welcome. All right, here we go.
Private cocktail parties, group activities. We're gonna go to the shows together and much, much more. Call the Inn at Cruise and Travel Depot right now. 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. And online at cruisingdepot.com to make your reservation and lock in our private group rate. Nothing comes close to Celebrity Cruises.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, and some other things. I had suggested something a couple times on the air in the last couple of weeks, and now it looks like it's coming true. And you may have heard me suggest that Kari Lake, after she lost out there in Arizona again, could be Trump's ambassador to Mexico. And now it's being reported this morning that she's at the top of the list for President Trump's choice to be ambassador to Mexico. And I got to tell you, when I said that the first time a couple weeks ago, some of you laughed at me. Some thought it was a good idea, but obviously someone thought it was a good idea because it might actually be happening. Oh my goodness, this is very exciting stuff. You know, what better person to be ambassador to Mexico than Kari Lake? All right, now, we had a major victory yesterday, too, not just the Daniel Penny acquittal, which means that just because you're black, you can't go on subways and threaten people's lives. I know that the liberals at Black Lives Matter believe that to make up for things that none of us ever experienced, that white people you're entitled to victimize white people, but that's just not the case. So that was a big victory yesterday. But it looks like Pete Hegseth got the gig, Secretary of Defense. Two major things happened. One, Trump's taking him to the Army-Navy game, which you think Trump would be taking him to the Army-Navy game if he didn't think he was going to get in? And Joni Ernst has caved. And, you know, this thing about Joni Ernst caving, this is because all of us, MAGA America, you know, social media, the internet, the news, conservatives, MAGA people have been outing Kari Lake as, I'm sorry, not Kari Lake. Joni Ernst is what she is, a fake Republican. I don't like, Rhino just seems too mild to me. Now, she hasn't changed. She's obviously in bed with, she needs to get in bed with a hairstylist because she's always had hair issues, but she's in bed with the military-industrial complex. She supports the endless wars, Joni Ernst. She wants somebody in that job like Ron DeSantis or Nikki Haley or her who will do the bidding of the military-industrial complex. She caved because she got scared that she was going to be primaried out of office, that she wasn't going to have this permanent job as a United States Senator. Now, whoever was whispering in her ear, I don't know if they told her to lay off Hegseth because she was going to be out, or has she gone rogue from her handlers? I don't know, but I don't care. Now he's gotten the approval of her. And, here she comes, Joni Ernst, who's a radical, fake Republican liberal. She praises Zelensky. She wants to continue that war. She praises George Floyd. She's just a fake Republican, okay? Just a fake Republican. Maybe she used to be concerned. I don't know. Maybe she's just one of these people that's whatever they have to be at the time. Maybe I don't know. But she's been under the radar because I didn't realize what a radical loon she was. I don't think most people did. And she felt very empowered. Senators are very arrogant. Senators, many of them believe that they're equal to the president. And because they only run every 6 years, they also feel empowered because they figure, well, if I do something, by the time the election comes around, people will forget. Well, she's only 2 years out, and we're in a whole new area now. Something major happened here. So Joni Ernst caved, and then Trump announced he's going to the Army-Navy game with Pete Hegseth. And I'm going to tell you, when President Trump and Pete Hegseth go to the Army-Navy game this weekend, which I'll be watching, how could you miss that? It's a Trump event. They're going to go nuts for both Trump and Pete Hegseth. And this one is in the bag. We got it, okay? And Joni Ernst, she's acting like, well, she had a discussion and he's agreed to audit the Pentagon. All this BS. She got scared. She thought she was all that. And she got scared that she was going to lose her Senate seat. So she caved. She has not changed, but she's done the right thing right now. So we're going to get Pete Hegseth then, who's probably the best person ever to be picked to be the Secretary of Defense ever. And that's why they hate him, because he's so good and he's not on the take. All right, our number 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, hi, Brian. It's Sandra from Boca. How are you?
Hey, Sandra, what's up?
Calling about the arrest of that guy, or that CEO.
Oh, yeah, Luigi.
Yeah. Well, my reaction to how people are reacting is kind of shocking. Like, he deserved to die, and he didn't deserve to die because the whole system is corrupt. So, I mean,
well, that's how liberals are. If they don't like you, they think you should be dead. That's how liberals think. Sorry, that's how they are.
They said in his manifesto he referred to other people in the organization, not exactly United Healthcare, as parasites.
Mm-hmm.
So they think this was a master plan to maybe inflict damage on other people in the system. And this was just the beginning. So, well,
what I was talking about, I don't know how long you've been listening this morning, but what I opened the show with was this: that don't believe this back pain. I don't care if he's crazy. Most killers are. This is a radicalized leftist who's been radicalized by leftists in the college, okay, and in the media and in his public school education. And this is what the left have done to our youth, and these most recent shooters, whether it's the Trump shooters or this guy, leftist, all of them.
Well, they all seem, if you notice, they have like this trend, these nut jobs that they write these manifestos. I mean, even when you look at Adolf Hitler, when he wrote Mein Kampf, it was the same thing in a way. His political position led him to kill millions of Jews. But it's not much different from one person to 4 million. These people have these ideas in their head, they put them on paper, and they they execute them.
That's right. And you know, you look at this this monster, okay? You know, and he's, like I said, because he's good looking and in shape, we're gonna hear about this guy for years. I understand he's crazy. It sounded as if in his arraignment hearing he was representing himself because he was making some case to the judge and he was just talking about the money. Anyone who represents themselves in any way, shape, or form is a nut. Okay, I follow a lot of these cases. Crazy people love to represent themselves. But most people in prison for murder are crazy. Sane people don't go. Yeah, and how'd that turn out? He was crazy. But I mean, do you agree with me or not that radical leftists have a large role to play in this murder?
I believe, Ryan, that the whole world, especially now, the times that we're living in, is determined by influence. Completely. So
Yeah.
I agree with whatever ideas he was listening to, it influenced him to do this. Because you never heard of 25 years ago, 30 years ago, a valedictorian of his class going out and murdering. You just did it.
Yeah.
You just did it. This kid was bachelor's degree, master's degree. So yes, I think there was some very, very influential.
And it is relevant. I made a comment earlier that I'm getting picked up on the speaker of your phone. So I'm gonna end the call, but I appreciate your call. Okay, we got a phone issue. If you're on hold, stand by. I was talking earlier, and I said this in passing, but I want to expand on it. I said I'd be shocked if Luigi was straight. And the reason I say that is that's part of the radicalization, right? If he's gay or something else, he's been brainwashed to think all these crazy things, even to another level of craziness, okay, by the radical left brainwashers. If you're on hold, stand by. I want to talk about Jupiter Joe Thomas. You know, he has a radio show on our station here, and he also, Joe Thomas, is sponsoring the Christmas music that plays at noon for an hour each day, noon to 1, and on our radio stations. And you should tune into it because it is the American songbook of Christmas music. It's real great traditional Christmas music right here in True Oldies. And Jupiter Joe Thomas is sponsoring that. You know, he has for over 30 years been working in the retirement planning business. And he knows what he's talking about. He's offering our listeners free phone consultations, which you could take advantage of no matter where you're located in America. And this is an amazing opportunity for you because Joe Thomas is not just a retirement planning expert. He's not just a financial planner. He's a top man in the industry. He's a 5-time qualifying member of the $1 Million Roundtable, which is achieved by less than 1% of all financial advisors in the world. So he's a top man in the business, and he's offering you a free phone consultation. Give him a call. Talk to him about how you can protect your money from stock market losses, how you can stop losing your hard-earned money, and how you can generate income when you are retired. Here's his number, 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And if you missed the number, just go to his website. It's right there, jupiterjoe.com. jupiterjoe.com. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on the Steve Kane Show.
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? So you heard me in Orlando talking about Dr. Appleton and drove to South Florida with your mother to see him. Yeah, my mom is awesome now. Awesome. No more arthritis, no more pills, none of that. She's going back to New York. She sits on a train for 24 hours. And I'm telling you, okay, she gets off that train. My sister, she walks like a young mother. That's amazing. Thank you. Call Dr. Appleton and say bye-bye to your pain, too. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. Online take my word for it. This is Richie the bus driver.
We'll be back shortly, guys.
To share his experience with Dr. Gupta. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Richie, Dr. Gupta. I go 139 miles to this guy. I had a broken tooth. He fixed it. It was supposed to be temporary. It lasted 2 years. He put dentures in my mouth that are a lot cheaper than anybody else. And he's excellent and no pain. I recommend
Who's Trump picking for transportation secretary? I don't know, but if it's a man, they won't be breastfeed. I promise you that.
954-922-4633. 954-922-4633.
Yeah, that's right. Sean Duffy. Yes.
King Show.
All righty, welcome back. If you're on hold, stand by. I've covered a lot in the first 50 minutes, almost 50 minutes of the program. You're welcome to call in about anything I've brought up so far. Our number, toll free, 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Is that you, Brian?
Yes, it's me. Is it you?
Indeed it is. The long-time listener, first-time caller.
Oh my goodness, that's the kiss of death. Long-time listener, first-time caller. That's like the last thing somebody on the radio wants to hear. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Oh my goodness. Hey.
The show, which is how I know you don't like it. So, I listen to your show in a thoroughgoing spirit of irony, and every now and again you say something that is so clueless that I feel compelled to come.
Wait, you talking about me saying that I'd be shocked if the shooter were straight?
Definitely one of the most asinine things I've heard.
Yeah, I knew that's what you were talking about. How do you think I knew that's what you were referencing out of all the asinine things I've said in the last 50 minutes?
Well, again, it's tough to live, but...
Because my gaydar went off. You're gay, which is fine. It's okay to be gay, but you're gay. So I knew, and I know you're gay, and I could tell as soon as you said hello, and I knew that's where you were going.
Realize that makes you weird and not me. Right?
No, are you gay?
No, I am very straight.
Oh, please. Okay, go ahead.
I am married, but
sure. Liberace was married, I think. Yeah.
All right. Economic and Philosophical Manuscripts of 1844, the German Ideology, Das Kapital. What Marx have you read? What philosophical works by Karl Marx have you read?
Philosophical works. I've worked for a living since I was in high school. I haven't had time to sit around and read the philosophical works of Marx. Although I did have to read some things in college.
So you haven't read any Marx?
No, actually I did in college. They make you read all kinds of stuff.
What'd you read?
It was a long time ago when I was in college. Yes.
It was a long time.
But see, so what? I live life. Okay, I don't have time to sit around and read Marx's crap.
Okay. So you don't know what Marxism is, and yet you know it when you see it, right?
Well, there was. Excuse me. Let me finish my sentence, if you don't mind. Here's the thing about it. Okay, there was a Supreme Court case over pornography on the internet, and Justice Scalia, who was probably murdered, Justice Scalia had a very famous quote that I'm paraphrasing, because I don't remember the exact words, but he said he can't define pornography, but he knows it when he sees it. Okay, It has everything to do with it. I mean, because of the reference you just made. You don't know what Marxism is, but you know it when you see it. Do you even listen to yourself? So what I'm telling you is that going back to the 1800s and reading what Marx wrote in the 1800s is not the same type of Marxism we have today. As an example, you know, Ronald Reagan famously said, he in a speech before he was governor, when he was going around speaking for GE, Ronald Reagan, he quoted a well-known socialist from the 1930s in the United States, and he said that Americans will never accept communism, but if you call it socialism, they'll accept every last tenet of it. So the Marxism, excuse me, I'm speaking. Well, you wanted to have an intellectual conversation, and now you don't want me to reference any intellect. So what I'm telling you is that the Marxism that we're dealing with is an updated version that has been warped into something that the left believe that idiot liberals like you will accept.
Uh-huh. So, again, you don't actually know what you're talking about, but you're...
No, I know exactly what I'm talking about.
Now, let me ask you another question. You think, you are on the radio saying...
Yes.
I was a cold-blooded killer, and it's so unfortunate that we lost the CEO of United Health.
That's correct. Yes.
Do you really think that it's only people on the left who think it's funny that this guy got shot?
I don't. Yes. I think when it comes to everyone, I don't know. Maybe you could find one person. This is the deal. Okay, you're not going to find a lot of sympathy from any American for the healthcare executives in general, okay? However, because everybody knows someone. I mean, everybody knows someone who got denied treatment, and I know someone. Well, I don't know them anymore. They're dead. They were denied a medication by their insurance company while they were in the hospital, and they died because of it a few years ago. A friend of my wife's, so. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. But there's a difference between having grievances with insurance companies and celebrating the cold-blooded murder of their executives like you're doing, which is sick and... No, I don't think it's funny when a person, an American law-abiding citizen, is walking down the street and they're murdered. No, I don't think that's funny. All right, but I would thank you for your call, but if I did that, I would be lying. I'm not going to have a conversation with somebody who says things like that and treat them like a legitimate person, okay? All right, let's see. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name's Tom. I go by Tom Fuller Show. Content creator, just rated you a little bit ago on YouTube.
Okay. I have no idea who you are, but other than to promote yourself, do you have any content?
Yeah, so I was going, a couple of things as you said. You were talking about the shooter, and initially you were talking about the fact that he was a liberal, and you kind of changed from like liberal to leftist or far left.
Well, liberal and leftist are the same. A liberal is a leftist. They're different words meaning the same thing.
Sure, I think in some like colloquial context they can be like Ben Shapiro, Prager, and they would always like differentiate them. And it seems like the leftists also differentiate themselves from liberals. But I was more so calling because you were saying that it was like liberal ideology that got this guy to shoot this person.
Mm-hmm.
In my experience, it seems to be more so that it is populism that is pushing this, and it is.
Oh my goodness! What did you major in college?
I didn't major in college.
You didn't go to college?
No, own my own businesses.
Oh, you're already this with all this intellectual gobbledygook. This is the kind of crap you learn in college. Is why I asked. This, usually people that talk to you are people that have too much education, spend too much time, like that last idiot. Yes, you heard the last call that I was talking to while you were on hold. The last liberal lunatic who was celebrating the murder of this guy and was talking about it being funny and memes and all of that. The left believe that if you disagree with them, you should be canceled, you should be imprisoned, you should be killed. I mean, look, Gavin Newsom was talking about putting Elon Musk in prison a couple of months ago simply because X, the social media platform formerly known as Twitter, has free speech on it. That's how the left operate. And if you go through history, you'll see that everywhere.
Well, I'm more so like
What type of, I'm curious, what type of business do you say you own businesses, plural? What kind of businesses do you own?
Yeah, not currently. Currently, I don't have business, but I've like a car detailing business.
A what business? A what? A what business? Oh, a car detailing business. Okay. All right.
But yeah, it was more so I was bringing up populism because the idea for populism is generally that.
Oh, the idea for populism? Oh my goodness. What is this? Is this a college lecture at the Ivy Leagues? What do you mean populism? Liberals.
Liberalism. So I'm saying that to me it makes sense. Because I do think that there is a problem with the left where they have an issue with elitists, right? But
no, the elitists are liberals. The elitists are leftist, are liberals. There are no conservative elitists. There are no conservative elitists.
Sure, of course. The left is more likely to go to college, more likely to
That's not true. That's not true. Oh my goodness, I had to hit the S word, so I had to hit the dump. If you're on hold, stand by. I don't know. This is what I do know. Okay, the left over-intellectualize everything, and they think it makes sense. You know, if they use a bunch of fancy words and they quote Marx or something, they think it makes their liberal crap sound intelligent. And I'm here to tell you this. This was a cold-blooded murder in New York of this guy. This healthcare CEO didn't commit a crime. He was a father, a husband, and what happened to him was god-awful. And even when you point out what the left are doing, they still go out and promote their left wing. If you don't agree with us, you should be dead. That's how they operate. And they've done this throughout history, whether it's Cuba or the Soviet Union or Nazi Germany. Those were leftists too, the Nazis. National Socialist, right? National Socialism. They call them Nazis because they don't want to connect socialism to Hitler, but it's true. That's how the left have always operated. Prison or death, if you disagree with them. And they're so arrogant and elite in their thinking that they feel it's totally justified. All right, 1 hour down, 2 to go. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. Callers on hold, stand by. We'll take our break for the top of the hour and be back at 1-888-465-2631. You can call with your calls after this. Be right back, guys.
WIRK 103.1 HD3 Indiantown and Herrin Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. From the All-Year Cooling Weather Center, South Florida's #1 choice. Same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Michael Marone from the All-Year Cooling Weather Center. Today is Tuesday, December 10th, 2024, and right now it's 65 degrees outside. As we go throughout the day, though, temperatures are going to reach as high as 81 degrees with cloudy conditions throughout the whole day and with wind gusts up to 11 miles per hour. So make sure you stay warm, stay hydrated, and have a wonderful start to your Tuesday.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a true oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
West Palm Beach Turnpike getting up on Richard Boulevard. MTA actually blocking the right shoulder. The rest of the Palm Beach is rinsing free at this time. The Turnpike will get up to full speed, same for I-95. We do have a rollover crash right now in Hollywood. 3 right lanes are blocking on 95 south on Sheridan Street. Stop at the Blaze, go back to Gordon Road. This report is sponsored by KFC. Tis the season to fill your table and feed the whole family with KFC's festive feast. Get 6 original recipe tenders, 6 pieces of classic fried chicken, 2 sides, and 3 sauces for just $25.99. That's traffic for Spawn.
Traffic service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. This This Sunday, December 15th, PBKC features South Florida's premier sports card and memorabilia show with amazing vendors and a wide variety of all your favorite collectibles. Admission and parking are always free. Enjoy great food and drink options, including the Feasted Football Buffet in the paddock. Plus, catch all the big games on our sports TV.
If you're on hold, hang in there.
Go to pbkennelclub.com.
Have you put off buying new tires because you thought they were too expensive? Find friendly prices at Friendly Tire in Margate on both new and used tires. New tires as low as $70 a tire. That's out the door and on the road, because Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire or mount the tire. They have thousands of used tires in stock too, starting at just $30. Call for a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445.
Do you suffer from neuropathy? I did, until I went to Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in my hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching have all but disappeared. Say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. Call Lighthouse Medical Center for a free consultation. 754-222-6642.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All righty, callers on hold, stand by. The delay is re-engaged. Our number 1-888-465-2631. If you're just tuning in, we've been talking about a couple things. The acquittal of Penny, and also this monster murderer assassin and this Ivy League educated leftist who obviously was brainwashed by his college professors and the such to do what it is that he did. Okay, I mean, this is just the way it is. Modern day liberalism is hate speech. And, and if you hear the liberals that I talk to, they don't view it as that, because this is a very difficult concept for people to understand. Okay? Racist, bigots, they don't think that they're racist. They don't think they're a bigot. People that are consumed with hate don't think they hate. They think they just see the world properly. Don't you understand? They don't think of themselves as spreading hate speech. But that's what modern day liberalism is. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Joe, and I'm calling from North Dakota.
Yeah, what's up, North Dakota?
I know it's probably not relevant to what you're talking about tonight, but I'm just...
Tonight? What, you haven't been to bed yet? It's the morning. You're aware it's the morning. What time zone is... you're in North Dakota. What time zone is North Dakota in?
There you go.
It's the morning. It's the morning. It is in... You know what time zone you're in? You're in North Dakota. You don't know what time zone you're in? Why don't you tell me where you're really from? What time zone are you in?
I'm in North Dakota, you fucking...
There we go. Here we go. Yes. Oh, boy. Twice. If you're on hold, stand by. You know, it's an interesting thing about hate callers and such. And I love it. I've been doing this for a long time. I love it. They don't think very far ahead. First off, who would lie and say they're from North Dakota? Right? But if you're calling from North Dakota, you would, or at least pretending to, you'd have to have some information to back that up. Doesn't every American know? North Dakota is in mountain time, right? Is it in mountain time or central times? It's one or the other. Nowhere in the United States is it nighttime. Okay? If you're in the continental United States, I don't care where you are, it is the morning. It may be earlier in the morning than other places, but it's still the morning. And it does not surprise me whatsoever that a liberal thinks at 6 o'clock in the morning Mountain Time, or 5 in the morning, or 7 in the morning as it is here, that it's still the night. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes. Yeah, you're on the air. Oh, here we go. Yes, you're on the air. Hey, Rob in Connecticut. What's up?
Hey, I'm MAGA.
MAGA? You're MAGA? Well, he's... So a graduate from our Ivy Leagues is what? A leftist.
Often, yes. I agree.
Most of the time.
But I haven't seen what he seems, I don't know, what I have a feeling it's going to turn out to be like an anti-technology type person, like
Anti-technology type person. He didn't kill a tech CEO. He killed a healthcare CEO. Where's the tech component?
under Thompson's watch.
Thompson's latch. So, yeah. Oh, under his watch. Under his watch.
Correct. Yes, he began using AI to deny claims. I have an idea that in the end, like
Really? They deny claims? Is that a legitimate motive? Like if they're denying claims?
No, I'm just saying. I think that's what's going to turn out to be maybe the cause of like his needs to be technology.
If liberal, let me ask you this, Mr. MAGA, right? If liberalism is not behind this, why are liberals like you and others that I'm talking to on the phone? I know. You're more conservative than probably I am. I know. But why is it that if it has nothing to do with left-wing politics, why is it that liberals all over social media have been celebrating this murder? If liberalism has nothing to do with it.
I don't think there's what they believe is one thing, but what the actual shooter believes, I think it turned out to be.
So you think there's no. If you grow up in America and you go through our education system and you go to our Ivy League universities, you are indoctrinated into liberal crap. You know, our university system, it's also true with the public. I don't know if this guy went to public school or not. His family's rich, but and all boys, I'm surprised. Yes, I'm shocked. That's probably where he's most comfortable. He'll be at an all boys school too soon at the prison. But if you grow up in America and you go to public school, private school, and through our university system, you spend your entire educational youth being brainwashed by liberal ideology, especially in the last 10 years. And you look at what you're getting, right? When the Muslim terrorists attack Israel, rape and murder women at the music festival, what do you have? You have at our universities around the country, the top Ivy Leagues, you have even professors and students coming out there celebrating the murder of Jews. So if you go to our universities, you're dealing with liberal indoctrination centers. That's the reality of it. I don't understand why that's so hard to accept. I mean, even you are finding a justification. Well, they're using AI, which I don't know if that's true. I find that hard to believe.
Oh no, that's a fact. I could back that up with station, but it's not a matter of like they might be celebrating it, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's got anything to do with what his motives were.
Well, he's obviously crazy. Most murderers are crazy. Very few murderers are not crazy. But you look at this guy. He goes to an Ivy League college. He goes around with his shirt off. He works out a lot. Come on, you don't think this guy's a liberal? You think he's some Charlie Kirk Turning Point MAGA guy? Come on.
He's unaffiliated if you look up his voter.
Unaffiliated. Yeah. What about the both Trump shooters also leftist?
True.
So what is it with the left that they want to kill people that they don't like?
The thing is, why are they celebrating it? I think he might be I have an idea he's going to be not really politically motivated.
All right, you have an idea. All right, I appreciate the call. Oh my goodness. Yes, you're on the air. Which name were you calling from?
Yeah, I don't know where those guys are going, Brian, but I fully agree with you. I think he's fully liberal because the only people celebrating it are liberals. And
exactly.
Just because you go to an all-boys school or all-girls school doesn't mean it's not a school. When I was in high school, it didn't matter. In middle school, it didn't matter. In elementary school, it didn't matter. It was all indoctrination. from day one. You know?
Yeah. Even when I was in, I was lucky that I went to college as an adult, so they couldn't brainwash me. But I used to hear all this liberal crap all the time when I was in school. I just kept my mouth shut, and that was it. I had one professor who listened to me on the radio, gave me a bad grade on a paper. Because he didn't like. That's how they are.
Well, even when you would do a project on a topic that was controversial, if it was anything to do with anything that was American or anything to do with anything further with the American agenda and just not really falling into the Native American garbage and, the slaves.
What do you mean Native American garbage? What do you mean Native American garbage? What do you mean by that?
We're living on stolen land, that this land
oh, yes.
is ours, the whole mantra. I mean, listen, right, here's what it is, that everybody's from everywhere in the rest of this world, too. People that were from Arabia or Palestine or everywhere else, they live in Israel now, and they get along in a melting pot just like we do. But these liberals, they have a defection. It's just like Rush said. It's a mental illness. It's something wrong within their mind.
Well, why do you think the liberals say that we're not indigenous to North America, but they never say other people are, except the Jews. They don't like Jews, okay? Other than Americans and Jews in Israel, they never question whether or not somebody else belongs on their land. Like, for example, I've never heard any liberal demand that Canada give up their land. Or that the Mexicans give up Mexico. I mean, they're European too. Well, it's only us. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, Spaniards came from Spain. I'm sorry to tell everybody. I know it's South America, but Spaniards came from Spain. And Portugal was a world leader to get Brazil to be...
Well, okay, I'll answer my own question. The reason they come after America and not Canada or Mexico or Russia or Japan is because we have a bunch of lunatic liberals that pay them money. We got the money. So that's it. I was watching I was watching a video the other day online. There's an American girl who lives in Japan, and she did this video on how in Japan on the subways, Japanese people will not sit next to foreigners. And do you know why that is? Japanese people will not sit next to foreigners on the subway in Japan. And she did a very extensive investigation into this. Why do you think that is?
They're socially messed up.
The Japanese people are racist. And when you're in most other countries, Japan is a textbook example, we are the most diverse country in the world, the United States. You go to Japan, 99% of the people are Japanese, okay? You go to Russia, you go to China, they're Russian. You go to, things have changed a little bit in Europe because they've been invaded by the Muslims, from all this stuff, but the EU. But that's the way it is. Even in Canada, who's the highest ranking government official who's not white in the history of Canada? I don't know of any. Who's the most famous non-white Canadian? I don't know of any. So you go to these, same with Mexico. The United States is the most diverse country in the world, and they call us racist. The other countries have zero diversity. We are the only major nation that has elected a black man to be our leader. There's been black leaders of third world pits of hell in Africa or the Caribbean, but the United States is the only first world country to have a non-white leader elected and then re-elected, Obama.
Even with the examples of us bringing Haitians into Springfield and everywhere else into this country, nobody's out there with pitchforks. Nobody's out there burning these people out of anything. This is all lies and made up, theater for these people to feed on.
That's correct. All right, appreciate the call. Take care, all right? All right, we'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, it's Shannon on the radio with a quick reminder that if you like music by the Stones, the Beatles, the Beach Boys, the Four Seasons, and all those big hits from Motown, this morning, right after 10 a.m., it's all back on the air, right here on South Florida's True Oldies Channel.
But after those $2, I'll make sure it's still on. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
Is your AC system ready for this year's coming summer? If not, our team of expert technicians are ready to check, test, and inspect. At CMI Air Conditioning, we only install the very best equipment, like Train XV systems. CMI has been redefining home comfort with Train AC systems all over South Florida. You know what they say, it's hard to stop a train. Call CMI Air Conditioning and Electrical today to get your AC system ready. 561-844-1004 or online at cmiac.com.
When you need lab work, don't waste hours and hours waiting at the doctor's office or one of those big labs. Get any lab test now of Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs. Their prices are guaranteed to be the lowest you'll find anywhere. No appointment, doctor's order, or prescription is needed, and you're in and out in 15 minutes or less. They offer every lab and blood work your doctor can order. They even have drug testing and STD testing. Take control of your health care and visit any lab test now of Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs. There's lots of any lab test nows around, but these are the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to any lab test now of Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs. And make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio. La Bamba Restaurant, a family-owned authentic Mexican restaurant for 33 years. Come on in for a delicious tacos, salad, steak quesadilla, or a cold margarita. La Bamba is located at 730 US Highway 1 in North Palm Beach. Check out labamba123.com. Mike Lindell is offering wholesale pricing for Christmas. The standard My Pillow, just $14.88. They've never been offered this low before. That's right, just $14.88 and free shipping on orders over $75. So go to mypillow.com right now and use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, and get the standard My Pillow for just $14.88, the lowest price ever.
Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM. Hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM. Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM. And anywhere in the world at True Oldies FLA.
Alrighty, callers stand by. Our dump button, for those that don't know, the dump button, when someone uses profanity, one of those words, and there's more than 7 of them that you can't use on the radio, we're on a delay. And I have to hit the dump button. And you remember when I went to Dr. Appleton for the arthritis in my finger? It was god-awful pain. I didn't know it was arthritis till Dr. Appleton examined me. It's the finger that I use for the dump button. And in every studio that I have ever worked in, I've always had the dump button on my right. And the reason that is because I'm right-handed, and every radio station I've worked at, if the dump button wasn't on the right, I've asked them to move it to the right at the different studios and stuff, because you got to be quick on the button. And I believe that this program has used the dump button for profanity more than any other radio show in America, probably. And I've used the dump button so much with our callers using profanity, I developed arthritis in the finger that I use for the dump button. That is no joke. That's how much I've used the dump button. Isn't that something? But, Dr. Appleton treated me, when I was in so much pain in this finger, I didn't know what to do. I was almost in tears. And what I thought I did was jammed it. Like you play basketball, you ever jam your fingers? That's the worst. And I thought I jammed it. And I even had my wife pull on the finger. You know how you do when you get on, and it was so bad. And I went to Dr. Appleton. He says, Brian, you got arthritis. I was like, oh, I'm screwed. He's like, no, I got the laser wave pain treatment. It treats arthritis. I said, okay. And I thought, oh, man, this is it. I'm done now. I'm going to have arthritis forever. He treated me. The arthritis is gone. And I don't remember how long it's been. It's been close to a year, and it has not returned. And I'm still using that finger that formerly I was suffering from massive arthritis pain in with the dump button. Isn't that amazing? Dr. Appleton's laser wave pain treatment works, people. It really works. And what Dr. Appleton does is he's able to determine where in your body the pain is coming from, and that's the area he treats with the laser treatment. He could tell with an examination where in my finger the arthritis pain was coming from. He treated that, and boom, it's gone. No pain anymore. Give Dr. Appleton a call and say bye-bye to your pain, too. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Marcus from Connecticut.
Yes. Yes, Connecticut. Yes.
Oh, hi. Oh, sorry about that, Brian. I was looking at this whole story with the healthcare CEO getting shot by the young kid. And I'm saying to myself, I agree with you 100%. I mean, the guy had to be indoctrinated when he went into that UPenn. I lived in Baltimore many years ago, and that kid grew up in like the lap of luxury. He went to all boys high school, private high school, like $40,000 a year.
Oh my goodness.
His family, his grandfather, grandparents, they owned nursing homes, country clubs, all of that. And I'm saying to myself, how in the world did he turn into such a?
Well, I mean, look at what happens. Okay, leftist lunatics. Okay, before Arafat died, there used to be these leftist lunatics, college kids that would go to the PLO-controlled areas and be human shields in front of terrorist homes, so the Israelis wouldn't bulldoze them. Remember, during the buildup to the Iraq War, American lunatic leftists went to Iraq and moved into targets to try to stop American bombs from attacking certain places in Iraq. They were the human shields. Liberals are insane. You know, Michael Savage says liberalism is a mental disorder. It is. They're nuts.
Yeah. I mean, it's just unbelievable because, I mean, like you were saying a little earlier, like the liberals that was the people that were celebrating this online, they were, for the most, I don't know who they were, of course, but for the most part, like that Lorenz person.
Yeah.
Lorenz, I think her name is.
Yeah.
All of them following her, this is crazy.
Yeah. And so far as being mentally ill, most everybody that's in prison for a violent crime is mentally ill. Okay, P. Diddy's mentally ill. These people are mentally ill. There's a difference between being mental. Like I give you a textbook example would be the Parkland shooter. That guy's crazy. I met him once right before the shooting. Crazy, but he wasn't so crazy that he didn't know what he was doing was wrong, and he had an elaborate escape plan. This healthcare lunatic liberal from the Ivy League had fake ID. He had a bunch of cash, fake, passport, so what? He's nuts. He's still a liberal, and he knew what he did was wrong because he had such an elaborate escape plan. Passport, money, come on.
And the crazy part is, I don't, like I said, I strongly believe he got radicalized when he went into UPenn. Because one of his cousins still lives in Baltimore, the Baltimore area. He's actually a Republican, which I was surprised about. So I think his family is kind of distancing.
Listen, we all have people in our families. Listen, I've had distant relatives who have done time. Okay, everybody has somebody in their family that's done something. I love how they do this. They find one guy who's a Republican in the family, and they want to blame it on MAGA. This guy is a liberal lunatic. He went to the Ivy League. He grew up in liberal land, Baltimore. Okay, I'm sorry. This guy is a leftist. He's been radicalized and by liberal ideology, as many young people are. I mean, look at AOC. She's completely brainwashed. She's like, you know what this kid, it's like Greta Thunberg. Okay? They're lunatics. And that's how liberals are. And one thing that's constant with liberals, they hate. And they want people dead and imprisoned and canceled who dare disagree with them. They're so tolerant, they can't tolerate those who disagree with them. And I'll stand by that. I mean, come on. You know, that's it. And I'm telling you, we're probably going to find that he's not straight. And that's a factor too when you look at this nonsense that they're promoting. Yeah.
And another thing too, speaking of that, Brown University, another Ivy League school in I think Rhode Island. I think 30% of the students there consider themselves LGBTQ.
Mm-hmm.
And how could that be? I mean, there's no way 30% of the people identify as. I mean, it's not now.
I mean, where's the conservative Ivy League? Exactly. There isn't one. There isn't one.
There isn't.
No, there isn't one.
All leftist lunatics.
Correct.
I guess like what you were saying about the guy who's not straight. I don't believe that too, because, like I said, a lot of these Ivy League schools, they indoctrinate, pushing all kind of radical ideology, and these students are young, they like a sponge.
Your brain doesn't stop developing till you're 25. So they get them while they're young. You know, it's like the way to look at it, you know, out of the world of politics. Whenever Pepsi or Coke have a new product out, whoever the number one musical act of the day is their spokesperson. Because you and I, you know, I like Pepsi, I like Coke, but I'm not going to drink whatever new crap they come out with. So they try to sell it to young people because their mind hasn't developed yet and they're open to new things. You know, I mean, I'm not going to drink the new Pepsi, right, or the new Coke. I'm going to drink those. So so the same goes with politics. And you know, you look at that Twitter mob that they had going on, the Hitler Youth of the Twitter mob that was going around canceling everybody, and you look at the reaction of the left. They were doing, you know, they were been celebrating on social media for a week about this shooting, and they're even still doing it today. Hey, listen, what's your name? Where are you calling from? I forgot your name. What's your name?
Oh, Marcus. Marcus from Connecticut.
Marcus from Connecticut. Are you Black MAGA?
Of course.
Absolutely, and it's not racist to know by your voice that you're black, right?
Right.
You know you sound black. You sound white. I sound white. You sound black. That's okay.
Right. Oh, it's fine. You know.
It's fine. Yes, it is.
Whole Daniel Penny situation.
Yes.
I was appalled what I saw on that news conference with the BLM activists.
Yeah, but they should be arrested. That's the incitement of violence. They should have been arrested. But it fizzled. Nobody took them up on what they were suggesting.
No, that whole BLM stuff is dying out.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody can see right through that, you know. And with the lesbian leader, she lives in like a predominantly white neighborhood. I mean, in California somewhere.
Yeah, and she has mansions. Listen, I got to run for a break, but it's good to hear from you. Take care. Appreciate the call. Great call. If you're on hold, stand by. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. My name is Brian. We'll be right back.
It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Oh my goodness.
The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning. From the all-year cooling weather center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Michael Marone from the all-year cooling weather center. Today is Tuesday.
So funny, I was listening to all my old, like the first time I did the weather, and like the ones I do now, like is
Oh yeah.
I feel like embarrassed hearing the old one now. It's like, oh gosh, like that's what I sounded like on it.
I know. I've got old tapes of me from when I first started. I can't listen to them.
Oh gosh. because it's always so different compared to how you still like. I can imagine like when you started. Oh gosh. You know, you say like if people heard you from like the old shows.
Oh my gosh, it'd be embarrassing. It'd be embarrassed. I can't listen to them. I sealed them up and put them away.
They're in the dark sides of the.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
It's like you had to start somewhere. You started somewhere, you know. It's like the big difference of where you started and how you got to there now.
That's traffic on Chris Bar.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. It's showtime at PBKC. Get your tickets today for Chris McDonald's Memories of Elvis. Merry Christmas, baby, this Friday.
Well, so I have the reason Steve. People don't know Steve. Steve used to be like he was like the top guy in Miami, doing talk radio. So I used to listen to him all the time, and he would have me tape myself on the air because I didn't do the show with him. I had my own shows.
Yeah.
And he would listen to the shows because I was on in the middle of the night. He couldn't listen live, and he would tell me that you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. How to, you know what I mean? That's how I learned how to do this stuff. You know? Oh my gosh! But the calls and oh my gosh, I was getting raped by the callers. I mean, it was just something. When we first starting, it was brutal.
I was about to say they probably were trying to eat you alive.
Oh, they were.
Yeah.
They were.
I know a few times you said on the video, you're like, you know, back then you probably could have tried to get someone, but
it was brutal. It was brutal.
Especially if it's late night, you know, everyone's gonna try to.
Oh yeah. Brutal.
They smell fresh meat and they go right at it.
Exactly.
And we're committed to continuing that legacy of excellence. Our team specializes in all types of roofing systems, from shingles to tile, slate, metal, and flat roofs. We're the go-to experts for single-family homes, HOA communities, and condo associations. What sets us apart is our unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction. I've personally implemented systems to ensure you receive the best in customer service and workmanship. Don't miss out on our limited time offer for a free roof inspection. Call us now at 954-604-4602 or visit us at laportaroofing.com. Trust the experts who have been protecting homes like yours for generations. Again, that number is
954-604-4602.
I might have the cruise guy call in.
Oh, okay. So you want to hold that for like the cruise guy if anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll keep
but
it
do
open.
like one. Do one commercial.
Gotcha. So I'll just throw in one of the ones.
Yeah.
I got it. I'll know a commercial, but it.
Yeah.
Dr. Matez for a free consultation today at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
The Greater South Florida Chamber of Commerce has fantastic free-to-attend events all year long. Join us for their next great expo in your area.
Don't miss the Greater South Florida Chamber's next great event. It happens Friday, December 13th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Kane Center in Stewart, 900 Southeast Salerno Road in Stewart. A day filled with fun, education, and wellness. Discover the latest trends in senior living, health products, and services tailored for boomers. The oldest scene will be on hand from 11 a.m.
Alrighty, we're back. Callers on hold, stand by. It's a Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. We got a couple of things on the table. We're talking about this leftist lunatic, Luigi, that killed the CEO of the healthcare company, the health insurance company, and also the shocking acquittal of Daniel Penny in New York and a few other things as well. But that's mainly what we've been talking about today. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, Brian.
Yes.
Hi, how are you? It's Laura.
Yes, Laura. What's on your mind?
Yes, can you hear me? Okay. My question is, don't you think that both of these shooters are from Pennsylvania?
Yeah, I get. Yeah, if you want, I guess so. The this latest shooter, the one with the Luigi, he was spending time in Hawaii, which is where the second Trump assassin was at.
God. Listen, there's something up in that state. They should do something about it. It's not normal.
And the idea that these healthcare guys are conservative is really not true. The healthcare companies, the health insurance companies, crafted Obamacare with Barack Obama. And I know a lot of people don't like to think of it that way, but it's true because think about it. You've got the President of the United States, Barack Obama, is about to make it a federal law that people have to buy your product. Could you imagine? If Trump was going to make it federal law that people had to listen to the Steve Kane show, I'd be all excited. And so the health insurance companies worked with Obama to pass Obamacare. So I don't assume that they're conservative. Those big health insurers were working with Obama.
No, I know. But the thing about this the Luigi guy, he has his Facebook, and there is I don't know how many friends that he has. He has a lot of friends. He has a huge Instagram. So it's going to be easy this time it's going to be very easy to find out who he's talking about.
Well, we seem to know, we know everything. We know, you're right. Hey, listen, thank you for the call. Great call. I want you guys to think about this. Luigi here. We know everything about him, where he went to school, where he went to high school, where he went to college, what he had for lunch. We know all this stuff. Where he vacationed. We know about his aches and pains. It's been 14 hours since they arrested him. We know everything, almost. What do we know about the Trump assassin at the golf course? We don't know jack. What do we know about the Butler shooter? Nothing. But this guy, boy, they're just flooding us with information. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Brian. How you doing, Brian?
Brian and Vero. What's up, Brian and Vero?
Yeah, listen now. What really upset me is that I just happened to see on CBS one of the shows on there, and the monologue on after the news program. They were doing a monologue on the shooter.
Yeah.
It was so insane because the guy died. There was somebody that was killed, but these people were treated like
Well, let's be honest. The left are treating this as if it's justifiable homicide. Right? I mean, let's face it. They wanted Daniel Penny in prison for life. But this guy, they would like to be able to give him an award.
Exactly.
What is it about liberals that think this way? What do you think?
I don't know, but I've been a Republican all my life. And
you're a lucky man.
I did the research, and you just have to do hey, I've been conservative all my life, so.
When it comes to listen, everybody has a story about the insurance companies. We all have them. Everybody knows somebody, heard about something's got a family member, insurance companies, it's a business. I mean, of course they're going to deny. I mean, sometimes you got to push. Sometimes you got to push. My wife, she has I've talked about this many times. She has a very serious illness. My wife's medications that she's on every month is tens of thousands of dollars. Okay. And she's been on these medications for over 25 years. And her insurance company denied her when she first got diagnosed for these medications. And it was at the time, it was $20,000 a month. It's more now. And so we actually went to almost a hearing kind of thing to get it approved. We had to take her, we went to somebody, we had medical records, we had to present medical records, we had representation that went with us, and all this stuff to get it approved. We did, I mean, there's a process, and I'm sorry, sometimes you got to go through a process before someone's going to hand out $20,000 a month for the rest of your life. It's more money now, by the way. And that's just the way it is. It's listen, we have yeah, go ahead.
I have cerebral palsy, and I have other health issues. And I know the health market and everything, they will deny it, and it's difficult.
Well, doesn't everybody deny you? I mean, have you ever made an auto insurance claim, a homeowner's claim? That's the way it is. There's a process. Like I give you an example, homeowner's insurance. Tom Laporta from Laporta Contracting and Roofing. He can deal directly with your insurance company. We talk about this a lot in the messages. Sometimes you got to have an advocate represent you with insurance companies. They just can't write out checks and pay for everything that's requested. Listen, we have the best healthcare system in the world. People come from all over the world to come to America for treatment, okay? And it's expensive in this country, but mainly, in large part, because we're funding the rest of the world. The rest of the world, healthcare is zero because America's paying for all of it. But regardless, the insurance companies do all right. I don't have health insurance. I am self-insured. And the reason I don't is because for somebody at my age, the monthly premiums are just too high. It's ridiculous, and the deductibles and everything else. I'm self-insured. But that's the way it is. It doesn't make this guy evil. It's a business. Healthcare is a business.
Yes.
Eh?
That's the name of the game.
Well, that's why we have the best healthcare in the world, is because there's a business. Like, I give you an example. Liam Neeson's wife years ago was in a skiing accident in Canada, and she died. And they didn't have an MRI machine. Like, for hundreds of miles away was the nearest MRI machine. They have socialized medicine in Canada. Here, we have MRI machines every couple of blocks in Florida, literally, and because it's privatized, and people have private MRI machines, and you can go there, open MRIs, and all this stuff. Okay, because we have the best healthcare system, because it is a for-profit system.
Yes, and you're absolutely right.
Well, thank you.
I'm here at Cleveland Clinic, so I know, and they're taking care of me.
Are you the guy that called me that was in the hospital the other day?
Yeah.
Okay, so how's that? Did they? You went in for some chest pain. So did you have another heart attack? What's up? What happened?
Yeah, they're still checking things out, but the VTAC and making sure the rhythm's right.
Well, good. So you're still with us. Keep checking in.
I'm gonna DM you.
Okay. You can DM me on social. Absolutely. Take care, man. All right. Thanks so much. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take our last break of the second hour and be right back.
Learn more and see a full list of events at GreaterSouthFloridaChamber.com.
When it comes to dental work, there's no one better than Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. But don't just take my word for it. This is Richie the bus driver. He called in on the air to share his experience with Dr. Gupta. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Richie. Dr. Gupta. I go 139 miles to this guy. I had a broken tooth. He said it was supposed to be kept on. It lasted 2 years. He put dentures in my mouth that are alive.
partner. Go see Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All righty. We are back 47 minutes after the hour. Callers on hold, stand by. It's a Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. Well, you know, I learned something about angel water yesterday that I did not know. I was talking with Rocky over at Angel Water. Do you know, and maybe you guys know this and I just don't know. I mean, I maybe you all knew and I didn't know, but Angel Water actually has systems for businesses. I did not know this. Yeah. You know, a lot of business, you spend a lot of money on bottled water or those big 5-gallon things and all that stuff for your employees. They have systems that are incredibly affordable, by the way, for businesses, for offices. I did not know this. So if you've got a business, a company, an office, give Angel Water a call and never buy bottled water again at your business. Oh, man. You know, my wife and I, we were buying so much bottled water that we just had it stacked by the front door of the house. You know, we actually had so much because my wife and I would drink a lot of water, drink bottled water before we had the Angel water filtration system in, and we actually had the bottled water delivered to our house. They would deliver it. A water company would come and deliver water to our house, and I'd just bring it in off the front porch and just put it by the front door. I just left it stacked there. Well, we don't have any anymore. We'll never buy bottled water again because we have the Angel water filtration system. Give them a call. But again, if you're a business owner, you have an office, give them a call. They got a great system for you. Now, this is the number. Call, have Rocky come out and talk to you. He's a good mega guy. He'll take very good care of you. 561-899-6585. 561-899-6585 for Angel Water. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. I'm Michelle. I'm calling from South Florida.
Michelle. Yes, go ahead, Michelle.
Yeah. Okay. I work for Jamaica Hospital where Trump was born. I work from home, and I do the business office. And one thing that I find, living in Florida 4.5 years, I still work for New York. I find that when you go to a hospital now, they make you leave a credit card. And when they did the shooting in New York, I was thinking about that happening more so because of the fact that now they want you to use a credit card. They want to make sure the insurance pay. And if they don't pay on time, they're charging you. And I can see a lot of this happening more, you know?
Yeah.
Being a New Yorker, and I've been in New York for about 3 years, you know, I have to go back there. It's really scary now. And like the subway system, I rode the subway system since I was a kid in the 4th grade. And I'm glad the gentleman got off on those charges because if he would have got convicted, I feel that there would have been people on the subway that wouldn't help each other if they see things arising. You know?
Well, I'll tell you, there were two things with that. One, the shocking verdict of not guilty, because most people thought because it was the lesser charge, they were going to come back guilty, and they didn't. And then, which, you know, New Yorkers are fed up, like you, with the dangers. But the other thing is, Black Lives Matter comes out and openly encourages violence against white people, and no one answered the call. It fizzled out. Black Lives Matter has no juice anymore. They're done.
And you know I'm black, and I sound black, right?
Yeah, you're black. That's okay. I'm white.
But I'm not for this Black Matter stuff because, like you said, it does incite violence. And, you know, we don't need that in the world anymore. We need peace.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so glad that the subway shooter, he got off. I'm so glad. And
do you believe in this myth of white privilege? Do you think that's like a real thing? Like it's easier for us honkies?
Well, let's put it this way. People I hang out with are all white and black one.
Well, what does that mean?
Comfortable. Excuse me?
Why is that? Why don't you hang out with other black people?
Well, it's just that where I live in a condo and I'm surrounded by like white people, black people. But I'm more comfortable around anybody. I don't care what color you are.
Well, I'll tell you, I know in my industry, okay, you know, I'm a MAGA guy, you know, doing this. If I were black or brown or trans or gay or if anything other than a straight white guy with my MAGA, I'd be one of the most famous radio personalities in America. But as a white guy, as a white person, you got to work harder these days to make it. Which hey, I'm not against hard work or anything, but this idea that there's white privilege is insane. And I think the re-election of Donald Trump is why Black Lives Matter. Okay, if Kamala, I'll tell you this: if Kamala Harris, this wino homewrecker who sleeps with married men, if Kamala Harris would have won this election, Perry might have been convicted. The rejection of all that left-wing garbage, I think, gave the jury some courage to do the right thing.
Yes, I believe that. And you know what's ironic too? I worked for 2 hospitals in New York, Jamaica Hospital, where Trump was born. And when we had COVID, we didn't hardly have any cases. He was president at the time. He donated a lot of money to our hospital where I was able to get my paycheck. And
wow, isn't that nice? Trump announced yesterday he's not going to take a salary again this term. He's going to donate his salary to charity again, just like Biden doesn't do.
Well, I appreciate Trump, and a lot of people in my building where I live, they can't stand him. And it's amazing that I said, you got to remember what Trump did for the Jewish people in Israel. He gave them back that, title that they have that land. And when I spoke to a lot of Jews, I don't mean to put them down, don't get me wrong. They said, oh, yeah. I said, but look what he did for you guys. You got to appreciate what he did. But then it's okay, he did that, but I don't like him.
Well, there's a lot, liberal Jews. Are you in a condo that has a lot of liberal Jews that live in it? Okay, they're mostly from New York, right?
Yeah.
Okay, they're not religious Jews. To them, being Jewish is like somebody who's Italian. You know what I mean? Oh, I like the Italian food. I'm Italian. I like to go to the deli. They're not religious Jews, and they have no connection to Israel or Judaism as a religion, and and they also
And I said, Don, I shouldn't have said her name. I said, can you explain how come the Jews here don't like him? Mm-hmm. He tried to explain that to me, and I'm like totally confused.
But religious Jews are the Orthodox Jews, and they're very MAGA and very conservative. And liberal Jews are also religious bigots. They hate Christians. And oh yeah. Do you have a Merry Christmas sign on the door in your condo? Put one up. Do a test. Put Jesus is the Jesus is the reason for the season sign on your door, and just do a test over the weekend and see how your liberal neighbors respond to the not he, Jesus is the reason for the, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And they, oh yeah, they'll make you take it down. Hell yeah, they will. And they think the Republican Party is like a Christian organization. It's like a church. And they hate Christians, so that's where a lot of it comes from too.
And I know you got to go, but I keep reminding them what Trump did for the Jews in Israel. You can remember what he did. He gave them like the state name.
That's right. Yeah, move the embassy to Jerusalem. All right, take care. Appreciate the call. Yeah, put that up in your condo. Jesus, not he, not the code word. Jesus is the reason for the season. They'll make you take that down instantaneously. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. Jeff from Maine.
Hey, Jeff, what's up?
Hey, that Daniel that was found not guilty, they tried to change the charges to a lower charge, thinking they just wanted and convict because he was a white male conservative.
Well, I don't know if he's conservative, but I know what they wanted. This is what Bragg wanted, and this is what BLM wanted. They wanted a lynching of Daniel Perry. They wanted a Penny. I keep calling him Penny. I don't know, Perry. I don't know why it's Penny, but they wanted Perry to be lynched. Is what they wanted. Man, that's it. And
No, but it's the hypocrisy within the justice system. If that had been, let's say, a black liberal that did that, he'd have been hailed a hero.
Only if he put the chokehold on a white guy.
Oh, that's true. But
they would have given him Bragg would have given him the key to the city.
Yep. Biden with these pardons and stuff, they're saying he's gonna do as much damage as he can before Trump gets in January 20th. And all of these DAs are scrambling. I bet you all the people that are involved in these sketchy Justice Department are begging for pardons because Cash has said he's going to go after these DAs that have unlawfully pressed charges against innocent people. No.
By the way, those are federal crimes because they were interfering in federal elections, which makes it a federal offense. Yeah, yeah.
To that, then that's actually treason because they had Hunter's laptop and suppressed it, and that was election.
Yes, yeah. There's going to be a lot of. Hey, I got to run, but I appreciate the call, Jeff. You know, liberal world's upside. I remember Steve and I. We used to have. I mentioned this a few times. We used to have a cable access TV show that we did, and we did some really cool stuff. You would have loved it, Mike. We went to the Swingers Club on the weekends and everything else. But we did this one show. I'd forgotten about this one. We went to the African American bookstore on in the Ghetto on Broward Boulevard. And they had the books there were a lot different. And I remember there was this one book in particular. Steve saw it. He picked up. We featured it on the episode. I have all these shows on. It was so long ago. I have all the cable access Steve Kane shows on VHS tapes. I don't have a VCR, but I got them all on VHS tapes. Of course, the body piercing is the most famous one we did. While Steve was holding young women's hands while they were getting their piercings in private places. But we were at this African American bookstore, and I remember there was a book that would teach women how not to be assaulted. And on the cover, it was a black woman who was being raped by knife point by a white guy, and a black police officer was coming in to save her. These are very strange. I've never seen a cover quite like this before. But to sum all this up, you know, you look at Black Lives Matter. This black anti-white racism is not as popular as Joy Reid would lead you to believe, because Black Lives Matter put out a call after the not guilty verdict of Daniel Penny yesterday in New York, and no one answered the call. Certainly not the big mouth that was calling on violence. He didn't go out and do anything either. But Black Lives Matter couldn't get together 3 people in New York City. It's over. All right? The re-election of President Trump. It's morning again in America. We got our country back. Now, if you're on hold, hang in there. We're going to take our break for the top of the hour. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. I'm Brian Craig. Steve will be joining us after the top. We'll go back to your calls as well. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 1-888-465-2631. We'll take our break for the top and be back after this. Okay. You there, Steve?
Yes, sir.
From the All-Year Cooling Weather Center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Michael Marone from the All-Year Cooling Weather Center. Today is Tuesday, December 10th, 2024, and right now it's 65 degrees outside. As we go throughout the day, though, temperatures are going to reach as high as 81 degrees with cloudy conditions throughout the whole day and with wind gusts up to 11 miles per hour. So make sure you stay warm, stay hydrated, and have a wonderful start to your Tuesday.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
On the major expressways in the Palm Beaches, we are currently accident-free, but not quite moving up to full speed. We are seeing some buildups on the Turnpike north and southbound, passing Lake Worth and Southern Boulevard. Also on I-95 north and southbound between Boynton Beach Boulevard and West Palm. We do still have a multi-vehicle crash on Lantana Road west of Military Trail, and in Broward County, a crash on Sample Road and Northeast 12th Avenue and Sheridan Street and Flamingo Road. This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500. Discount on eligible product only and reflected in quote. Restrictions apply. See Pro Desk for details. MVP's Pro Rewards program subject to terms. That's traffic. I'm Chris Barr.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. This Sunday, December 15th, PBKC features South Florida's premier sports card and memorabilia show with amazing vendors and a wide variety of all your favorite collectibles. Admission and parking are always free. Enjoy great food and drink options, including the Feasted Football Buffet in the Paddock. Plus, catch all the big games on our sports TVs. For more information, go to pbkennelclub.com.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
Do you suffer from neuropathy? I did, until I went to Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in my hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching have all but disappeared. Say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. Call Lighthouse Medical Center for a free consultation. 754-222-6642.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, we're back. Callers on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. Steve Kane joining us. Steve, I want to add something to your recorded commercial. I don't know if you could hear it during the break. Well, I was just listening to your recorded commercial talking about how Lighthouse Medical rid you of your neuropathy, and I wanted to add something to it. And there's a couple things I want to add. Number one, you were rid of your neuropathy over 2.5 years ago. The symptoms have not returned, which is amazing. So that's one thing. Yeah, when you got that treatment done, you were in such need. We didn't think about a long-term thing. You just needed like relief, like now, because you were suffering. And here we are over 2.5 years later, and it has not returned. So that's point one. The second point is this. No matter where you are located in America, Lighthouse Medical can help you with your neuropathy. Even if you're local and you can't make it in, but if you're in Nome, Alaska, they can help you too. They understand that if you have neuropathy, you're probably not very mobile. It's hard to get in. So no matter where you are located in America, Lighthouse Medical can help you with your neuropathy. Here's the number. I'm going to give you you give them a call. Make sure you mention Steve Kane. You get to take advantage of the no-charge consultation.
It's a disease, I guess.
It is a condition, a disease. It's a.
There's nothing they can do. A lot of them.
Oh yeah.
But they haven't been to.
No, they have not. The number is 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. And online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. All right, I was talking about this liberal murderer that shot the healthcare executive. I mean, come on, and of course the acquittal of Penny in New York. What I was talking about was this, Steve. If you notice, the shooters we've been having lately, the healthcare shooter, liberal. The Trump shooters, obviously liberal. The Nashville school shooter, liberal trans shooter. Violence, deadly violence committed by liberals has increased dramatically in the last couple of years. And it's obvious that the media, the liberal media, and the liberal education system are radicalizing people to do terrible things.
I think that's true up through the election, but I think the election has reversed that.
Well, this guy was killed in New York after the election, though, by this. There's
time to transist. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, Rome wasn't built in a day. Is that what they said?
Well, my guess is that this murderer of the healthcare executive, I don't think he thought he would be. Aren't all murderers psychopaths?
I'll tell you why he's a psychopath. All the smiling he does, that's like totally off the wall. I mean, regardless of what the motivation is, and we don't have a full profile on him, other than what we've reading in one edition of the paper today, but
He's nuts.
And grin is like
Yeah.
frightening. It's like frightening. I mean, he should at least be scared. I mean, you would be nervous.
I'm going to tell you now we don't know, we know a lot about him compared to the Trump assassins, I'm here to tell you, but I've made three, I guess, I've been profiling him today, and I'm going to tell you three things about him that I think are true. And I may find out that they're not all true, but I bet you, okay, crazy, like you said, just nuts, I mean, obviously. Psychopath, liberal, and gay. Psychopath, liberal, and gay. Yes, gay. But my wife and I both, when they revealed him yesterday, both of our gaydars went off like crazy. It's almost like a smoke alarm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Crazy, liberal, and gay. That's just my profile.
What did you, the gay part, what give you the clue on that?
Well, the smiles, he obviously works out a lot, and he's, yeah, and straight guys don't really smile like that too much. Straight guys that age don't smile like that so much. I'm just crazy, liberal, and not straight. That's my profile. I could be totally wrong. We'll find out as time goes on.
Never struck me.
No.
Flirting with that girl in New York.
How do you know it was a girl?
It's an interesting question.
But you know, you can go both ways, and
On Fox, they did refer
you can go both ways.
flirting.
You can go both ways. And when you're on the run, you can flirt with people to get, listen, he's good looking, so he's going to be in the news a lot. And good looking people use their looks to get deals on things all the time. So his flirtations may not have been because he was interested. Yeah, but he's still going to go away. It's just a matter of where, the loony bin or the prison. No.
I can see it now.
Mm-hmm. But even if he was flirting with a woman, I wouldn't say that means he's straight. I mean, he could just have been using his looks to get what he wanted from her. All right, well, let's take some calls. Our number 1-888-465-2631. By the way, Judge Janine on the 5 is going to interview Daniel Penny this afternoon, so we'll be watching that. I'm curious to see what he's really like, because I saw when he talked to the police, right? He waved his Miranda and talked to the police, which no one should do. Never talk to the police, ever.
It's it was an act for him that he's putting on. He's likes being enjoyed. Obviously, enjoys being the center of it.
Wait, who are you talking about? Are you talking about the killer or Daniel Penny, the subway guy? Which one are you talking about? Oh, you're still on the killer? Yeah, yeah. No. Judge Janine's interviewing Daniel Penny, the subway hero, today. So that'll be... All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, good morning. You mentioned before, Brian, in your show that President Trump is giving up his salary.
No, he's donating his presidential salary again. Yes.
I would hope so. I mean, the guy is literally hawking perfume as we speak.
What other president has donated their salary?
What's the last job you
To be honest with you, what other? Okay, ready for this? And I'll counter with this. Hold on, Steve.
You're gonna answer my question.
How many presidents have made money while they were in?
You're gonna answer a question with a question.
Steve, I will answer yours. Just how many
Answer it and
presidents?
then proceed.
What was the question?
You don't even know what the question was?
What was the question was? I want to make sure.
How many?
You did where you waived your salary.
For 4 years.
No, you asked what president waived his salary and donated.
No. That was my question. Steve had his own. No. Steve has his own question.
Okay, so wait a minute. So you got two questions here. Which one am I answering here, guys?
Repeat it one more time.
You're answering Steve's.
Okay, so what is Steve? What is your question now?
You hear it, the
What an idiot.
Well, I'm getting two questions thrown at me, Steve. Can you please ask the question again?
Last time, what is the last job you did where you waived your salary and did it for love of the job as opposed?
Well, it's funny you're talking about white privilege. I never done that because my daddy's never given me inheritance nor $1 million and a whole bunch of property to own. So I've never been able.
That means never. Never. That means never.
Second,
Never. So he's never done it. Never.
that. Have I donated to charities? Have I donated to you? Stuff like that? Yes.
Donate to Ukraine. Now, slow down for a second here. Let's do a public service announcement. Hold on. So we'll get to your Tom. We'll get to your question in a minute. You said you've donated to Ukraine. How much did you donate, and how did you do it? What charity?
World Kitchen.
World Kitchen? What's World Kitchen?
Chef Andre.
Chef Andre. And what? Who is he?
Do that go around? Oh my! Listen, man. How many presidents have walked into office with financial stakes in the stock market and have also sold as much crap as President Trump has to the American people?
I don't know about the second part. Yeah, I can actually. Yes, a lot of presidents: George W. Bush, George H.W. Bush, Ronald Reagan, they all own stocks. Lyndon Baines Johnson, they all own stocks. President Kennedy, without your name. The Trump organization is not a publicly held company with shares. Excuse me. The Trump organization is not a public company with shareholders. I wish it was.
Walking into the presidency with the financial.
You know, listen. Yes, that's right. Listen, which means when you put someone in, who would you put in charge of the American economy? Someone who took $1 million and turned it into a $10 billion empire and fortune, or somebody who has and blew $1.5 billion in campaign cash in a couple of months.
Okay, you ready for this? Donald Trump.
You're asking me if I'm ready for it.
He won't answer our questions.
I'm not. Steve, I forgot you were there. Hold on. Donald Trump, when he first.
All right, I appreciate the call. You know, Steve, you and I over the years have known. This is the longest running radio show, so in the state of Florida. So the show has outlived people. Well, and the lifespans of some of our sponsors, and we have seen over the years, people pass their companies on because of death to their children. And I would say, Steve, 70-80% of the time when the children blow the money and run the business out of business, right? They just do. I remember there was, oh my God, there was one guy we knew. Oh my goodness, he gave we knew this one guy who gave his son a multi-million-dollar business, two of them, and on top of the multi-million-dollar business, $1 million in cash. And in less than a year, the business was bankrupt, out of business, and they were broke. That was crazy.
Is the father, who had been our client for years, was a great businessman, which is why I guess he's been advertising.
Yeah.
Steve Kane Show. But when he died, and the kids came in, the kids were going to show their father in heaven, pardon the expression, how smart they were. So they reversed everything he was doing with the business, and he was out of business in what?
Oh, it was less than a year. It was really probably 6 months. But the point of this is this. Donald Trump took $1 million loan that he paid back to his father. How many of you guys have paid back your parents? You know, I haven't. And I've loaned my daughter money. Come on, you don't get the money. And he turned it into $10 billion. I know and have, as you, Steve, a lot of millionaires. There's a lot of millionaires around. I know a lot of millionaires. I don't know too many billionaires. There's a big difference between a millionaire and a billionaire, right? Different levels of success. I don't personally know exactly. It's an amazing thing to take $1 million loan that you pay back to your parents. Nobody pays back their parents, and then turn it into a $10 billion thing. The point of this is this, okay? You guys hear me a lot of times when I'm talking about Joe Thomas. I make a big deal that it's Jupiter Joe Thomas because it's an exclusive area. Jupiter's, Don Jr. lives there. Tiger Woods lives there. Many other celebrities, business people, and just rich people live there. When you're putting somebody in charge of the economy, you want a billionaire like Donald Trump. Look at how Kamala handled her campaign. $1.5 billion they blew in a couple of months, and they got nothing to show for it other than debt. They're in debt. They blew the $1.5 billion, and then it's still not enough. Well, her friends and probably her and her husband and family, yeah, and her. But that's so you look at how she was going to be running the American economy if she won, and look how she ran the campaign cash. Donald Trump doesn't even take a salary. In fact, when he was president the first time, he didn't want to take a salary at all. They told him it was illegal. He said, well, I'll take $1 a year. They said, nope, you can't do it. So he donates it. He gets paid, I think, quarterly, and he donates a salary every time he gets paid. That's amazing. I am late for the break, so we're going to take our break and be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Brian Craig here. When it comes time to get my blood work done, I don't have time to spend hours in the doctor's office or waiting hours in one of those big labs. That's why I go to Any Lab Test Now of Boca and Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs for all of my lab work. Their techs are highly skilled and professional, and their prices are guaranteed to be lab work you'll find anywhere. Appointments aren't necessary. Doctor's orders and prescriptions not needed either. I'm in and out in 15 minutes or less. I get the results the next day in my email box, and they also send it to my doctor. There's lots of Any Lab Test Nows around, but these are the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to Any Lab Test Now of Boca and Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is, between Palmetto Park Road and Hillsborough Boulevard on the east side of State Road 7, 441. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is on the southeast corner of University and by the Coral Square Mall. Call Any Lab Test Now of Boca at 561-237-5009. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs number is 954-06-5983. Don't forget to mention that you heard about them on the radio.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM.
All righty, Steve, the countdown has begun. 3.5 months from now, you and I are going to set sail for another week at sea with our wonderful listeners on our Trump victory cruise. We're going to have a MAGA Rita party, MAGA Rita party. And on the line from Cruise and Travel Depot, we have Ian. Hey, Ian. Oh, man, the countdown's begun. It's almost here, 3.5 months.
Amazing events planned for everybody.
Now, I just want to say that those of you that have been on our cruises in the past, we have some events that we've never done before, things like we've never done before on board the ship. And those of you that have not been before, you're going to have a great time. Our entire cruise is privatized. Everything we do is private, including our shore excursions. Do you have any of the shore excursions locked down now, or what's the story with those?
Our Puerto Plata shore excursion is live in the cruise planner and ready to be booked. People can log into their account and they will find it.
What are we doing in Puerto Plata?
Puerto Plata, we're getting on a private catamaran.
Oh, this is best.
Dive sites in the cap.
Okay. Slow down. Look at this. Okay, a catamaran is a big sailboat. So we charter a big sailboat and we go to snorkeling sites and dive sites. I don't scuba dive and I can barely swim, but I'll go out there. But we have an open bar and food on board the ship. That's a great time. That's awesome. So So if you're already booked on the cruise, sign up for that shore excursion. These are very, very, very exciting. They will fill up. If you're not booked, give Ian a call and join us. You're going to have a great time. And if you need some help booking on the shore excursion, guys, call Ian. He'll help you with that. His number, 56... Oh, by the way, where else? We're going to Puerto Plata. Where else are we going? St. Martin? Okay, St. Thomas, U.S. or British Virgin Islands? Okay, U.S. Virgin Islands. We're going to have a great... See, I don't care where we go. It's just we got great people that we hang out with. That's right. As long as... And there's a bar everywhere, man. And you usually see me and Steve at one. Okay, 561-244-5779 is Ian's number. Give him a call. Join us on our Trump Victory Cruise. This is our 6th cruise. 561-244-5779. All right, Ian. We'll talk soon. All right, take care. Oh, man. I don't know. The last cruise, I decided I wasn't going to drink, Steve. That didn't... Well, it did for a few minutes. All right, let's go. Well, the drinks are included. What am I supposed to do? You know? Which hearings? Well, we got to get Trump sworn in first, Steve, on January 20th. So we got a can't have these. He hasn't officially taken over. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, good morning, gentlemen. Chris from Pamela.
Hey, Chris, what's that noise? What are you doing? The dishes? What's that noise?
Yeah, breakfast dishes. But
Dishes. See, I knew it. I knew that sound. What's on your mind?
Okay. Well, you just mentioned, the last subject about everyone being jealous of President Trump and being helped by his parents. I mean, come on. That's just jealousy, and I'm tired of hearing my classmate mention that a few months back, and I had to set them straight on that. I mean, like you said, we've known people who won millions of lottery blow it. We've known people who have ruined, like Joe Robbie, and different inheritances and have blown it. Trump is a sharp guy, and that's no excuse. That's just part of their delusion again. Hate Trump.
Let me tell you. I mean, I went to high school with this guy whose parents died in an accident. He inherited money, $6 million, when we were in high school. And I didn't see him for many years. I was at the Home Depot. He was working there. He went through the $6 million. Anybody else, we'd think he'd be set up for life. I mean, people come into inheritances and windfalls and $1 million here and $1 million there, and they go through it all the time. For Trump to take that $1 million that he paid, I mean, come on, who's paid back their parents? That alone is a testament, right? That he paid back his dad. Who does that? Donald Trump is the only person I know that's paid back their parents.
My one aunt who ran a business for 40 years said, Chris, when relatives ask you to borrow money, if you don't have it to give them, don't do it because you'll never get it back.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Yeah. And then the other thing was, there's all these billionaires he's recommending. Yes, successful people. Can you replace the word billion with success?
And people that they're so rich they can't be bought, like Joni Ernst or Nikki Haley.
Think about, it's ridiculous. Yeah. They all get their money when they get into politics.
Trump derangement syndrome looking for somewhere to go.
And look how Joni Ernst caved. She's now backing Pete Hegseth for defense secretary. Joni Ernst caved, which is beautiful. And President Trump is going to the Army-Navy game this weekend with Pete Hegseth. So that's it. That's done. That's done.
Awesome.
I know. It's exciting.
That they need to get on board with what's best for America, and they know darn well that, President Trump, once again, will do a great job.
There's a big story with Joni Ernst that we don't yet know. She caved, and I don't think it was just people like us, talking about primarying her out. I think President Trump, she must have gotten a call from the president. Yeah, must have called her.
He's the only
I'm looking forward.
They could make it happen.
They're going to go wild at that Army-Navy game with Trump and Hegseth. Oh, my goodness.
He's going to be there.
Oh, is he?
A great game, too. There, great game.
Army's got a great running attack this year.
Oh, really?
Awesome season.
Your son's actually going to be there, Steve, in person?
What?
Your son's going to be there in person, Steve? Steve's son's an Army officer. He's going to be there rooting for the guys. Yeah. All right. Hey, appreciate the call. This whole thing with Joni Ernst is absolutely amazing. I mean, she was going to go to the mat in Senate hearings against Pete Hegseth. And all these stories about him, all debunked. The set debunked. They were saying he was a drunk, debunked. You know, and it's really amazing that these liberal and never Trumper forces use these same old tactics, and they weren't able to cancel him. They tried everything. The women, the drinking, nothing worked. And Joni Ernst, I think, caved pretty quick. Really, I mean, maybe a week, not even quite a week. So this is Matt Gaetz, by the way, it was announced what he's doing. Matt Gaetz is going to be doing a primetime show on One American News. Do you still have One American News, Steve? I haven't watched One American News in years, but I will go back and watch it with Matt Gaetz. You know, he's been doing a show online for a couple of years from his congressional office. So he's going to be I don't know, prime time. I don't know if that's 7, 8, or 9 or 10. I don't know. I didn't see the time slot announced, but he's going to do a primetime show on One American News, and I guess I'll have to get the app because it's not on my cable anymore. But I'll definitely watch that. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. We're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. Steve is here. Our number toll free 1-888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
That they're going to embark on a I might be deported because I'm a naturalized citizen. And Stephen Miller, who is Donald Trump's deputy chief of staff, has said that they're going to embark on a denaturalization. And whether they're here legally or not, Stephen Miller, who Trump's going to put in charge of this mass deportation project, is going to deport them. We're also going to deport people who are naturalized citizens. These are jobs that Americans will not do.
Oh my goodness, this is good. Mike, there's 2 Angel Water commercials in that same break. There's 2 recorded Angel Water commercials in this same break. Yeah, see? Angel Water, Angel Water.
I don't think I sent you the thing, did I? For the 8 o'clock.
Oh, we're gonna run out of time, I guess.
I think there's only one.
What is it? You know?
I want to say Swimmin's. Let me double check.
Okay.
The Steve Kane Show listeners are truly the best customers we have ever had. They are courteous, intelligent, honest, and quite a joy to work with. We have completed thousands of projects for the listeners from developers, single-family homes, large HRA complexes, and churches with great success, and every one of those customers are like family. We have installed all kinds of roofs from asphalt shingles, clay, and concrete tile, standing level seam, slate tile, and flat roof systems. So come on, and let our family take care of you.
Okay.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane. You back with us, Steve? Oh, yeah. Hmm?
To use my audience,
No.
figuring out, working as hard as I can, I'll be figure out who my next bet is in the wonderful world of politics. And I pick somebody out, and I've got to find somebody in my audience who can tell me who has access through the internet to the Las Vegas lines. If anybody,
You've got a really strange. I think it might be considered a long shot bet.
a long shot. Yeah, you might say it's a long shot. Well, any bet 4 years in advance is a long shot. Yeah, it is.
You're talking about the Democrat nomination.
It's the Democratic nomination.
You're going to tell people who you want to bet on
Yeah, sure. Why not, Mr. Fetterman
for the Democrat nomination?
or John Fetterperson?
Oh my goodness! Remember
It's a natural.
Remember Hank Goldberg used to be, he's passed away, but he did a sports show on QAM in Miami, and remember his bookie used to call while he was on he would take a commercial break because his phone was ringing, it was the bookie. He'd have to go to commercial. This guy was nuts. So you want to find out what the odds are on Fetterman? Okay, if anybody knows. Yeah, well, the bookie line is open. Yeah. I wanted to play this. This is a white liberal woman. They call them Karens, but Karen is a racial slur. But as white people, we're allowed to use it. It's like kind of like the N word. This Karen is very concerned about the deportations, and she has a warning to Americans as to why we should stand up against the deportation of the illegals from our country. All right, this is her. Listen up.
Your lawn maintenance is about to skyrocket because 90% of workers in the lawn maintenance industry, they come from Mexico. And whether they're here legally...
Now, how does she know this? Does she go out and check green cards and passports and birth certificates? She just assumes if you're Hispanic, you're illegal and working?
They come from Mexico. And whether they're here legally or not, Stephen Miller, who Trump's going to put in charge of his mass deportation project, is going to deport them. They're also going to deport people who are naturalized citizens.
Well, that would be Melania and Elon Musk. Do you think they're going to deport now? Where did they get this from? They're going to deport naturalized citizens. This is the new talking point.
These are jobs that Americans will not do, okay? American families are not letting their young adults work in the lawn maintenance industry. These companies may be owned by Americans, but their employees are from Mexico.
You know, I don't mow my own lawn. Like, I got a lawn guy, and he is American, and he only employs Americans. And I do something that's probably stupid. I pay him more than he asks for. And because I know all the other lawn crews in the area, they are illegals. So he's got to compete against that. But this idea that what she's talking about is a common thing with the left. The left are afraid that their indentured servants and slaves are going to be deported. The people that are doing jobs that they think are beneath them, mowing lawns, working in different places, they're going to lose they're going to lose their slave force. I've never seen that, and they don't even realize what it is that they're advocating for. There's a lot of jobs, like the lawn maintenance. It's not that Americans don't want to do them. It's hard to compete. Because having a lawn maintenance company, especially here in Florida, because it's a year-round business, that used to be a profitable thing. But it's very difficult to compete with the illegal. So a lot of people. So if they deport the illegal lawn guys from Karen's neighborhood here, don't worry. There's Americans that want to do it. You may have to pay a couple dollars more, but so be it. I mean, that's just the way. We'll make it up in the tax cuts that President Trump's going to give us and the lower gas prices and everything else that goes along with it. I was looking at this story. You've never been on the Bright Line, Steve, the high speed train. There's a family in Boca. They're suing because remember the family was run over and killed by the Bright Line during a quiet zone. Like where it goes through Boca, they don't ring the horn, and he got killed walking across the tracks on his way to the gym. And I take the Bright Line quite often. I do like the Bright Line. It's the high-speed train. I've taken it to Miami. I've taken it to Orlando. But the Bright Line has killed more people than any other train on the rails of America. Some call it the death train. And anytime I take the Bright Line, I make sure I usually only take it on a Saturday, okay? Because you don't want to take it and you got to be at work the next day. You know what I mean? And I always make sure that my schedule is free, because I've never been on the Bright Line when it hits somebody, but I'm always prepared in case I get jammed up and it takes a few hours. But the last time I rode the Bright Line, I rode it to Miami and back, and I went down to Miami to go to that bakery that Trump went to after he was indicted at the Miami courthouse. And when I was coming back, it's such a weird thing. I haven't had an experience like this since the first time. I flew a couple weeks after 9/11, and there was a kind of a thing then. But I'm on the Bright Line coming back from Miami, and the guy slammed on the brakes of the train. Everybody's looking at each other and they're thinking, oh, we ran somebody over. You can tell we didn't, but everybody was it's pretty bad when the train stops and people assume it's run someone over. Anyway, back to all this stuff that we're talking about. We're not running spots for the Bright Line on the station, are we, Mike? I'm probably not. I'll do great spots for the Bright Line, Steve. I love the Bright Line. Just clear your schedule out in case it kills somebody. The news of the last 24 hours is spectacular. Just want you to, there's only one thing President Trump ever said that I will disagree with. One thing. He says you'll get tired of winning. Never get tired of winning. Just in the last 24 hours, right? Penny, acquitted. Joni Ernst, caved on Pete Hegseth. And third, this was I think astounding. After the acquittal of Penny yesterday, Black Lives Matter came out with Neely's father, and I have never seen people get on national television like Black Lives Matter in New York did yesterday, and try to incite violence, telling people to go out and commit violence against white people. They said it, and not a single person answered the call of Black Lives Matter in New York City. Not a single person. That's absolutely astounding. I was expecting at least some symbolic event in New York last night, and it was. They're tired. What's that old saying? A liberal's a conservative that hasn't been mugged, or how's it go? Something like that. The people of New York have been living under this crime wave with Bragg for a few years now, and they're sick of it. Yeah, well, we'll see. Now, I want to tell everybody about the doorbell camera offer from Sloman's. President Trump, he did that interview over the weekend on Meet the Press, and Kristen Welker denied that the illegal gangs are in Colorado. And President Trump told her, I've seen the video. I haven't just seen the video. And I point this out when I talk about Sloman's because it's amazing. The video that you've seen of the Venezuelan gangs in that building in Colorado was taken from one of the residents' doorbell cameras. That's how good these cameras are. Pretty good footage, huh? Television quality footage. And Sloman's is offering you a free doorbell camera that connects directly to your cell phone with the installation of your Sloman Shield. Pretty good deal, huh? Sloman's is also going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. They're going to give you an LED touchscreen, a motion detector, 10 contacts for the doors and windows, a lifetime warranty, a backup battery, and a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. Give them a call, toll-free. 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. That's 833-283-5050. All right, we'll be right back. All right, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how are the metals looking today?
Metals are looking very good. Good rally yesterday, breaking out of the doldrums of the trade range we had been in for a couple of weeks and establishing possibly a new higher trading range. Yesterday we saw gold trade in a range of $26.27 all the way up to $26.78 and close out the day up $27.20 to $26.59.70. Silver gained 87 cents at $31.80 the ounce. Platinum was up $13 at $940, and palladium closed up $23 at $962. The rally continued overnight, with gold trading in a range of $26.57 all the way up to $26.80 the ounce. Right now, we're just off of those highs, $26.77, up $17.30. Silver up 5 cents at $31.85 the ounce. Platinum down at $9.98, and palladium down $17 at $9.45.
Wow, great time to buy. And when it comes to silver right now, how are the silver bars looking price wise?
They're just you can buy 100-ounce silver bars for just $1 over the spot price.
Wow.
You can buy 90% silver coins for just $1 over the spot.
Really?
Great value.
Wow.
Yeah, everything priced right now, and good buying opportunities.
Wow. That's the time to buy. Listen, stop in. William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. He's in Boca at 150 East Palmetto Park Road, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road on the first floor of the Bank of America building. You can give him a call toll free, 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. You can find both his phone number and address on his website, WilliamYoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll touch base tomorrow. All right, we are back. AOC has commented on the acquittal of Penny, the subway hero of New York, and she's very concerned Oh yeah, she's very worried. Listen, this is and by the way, a lot of people are saying that AOC is pregnant because no, she's a drunk. And if you look at AOC, her under her eyes, or if you this clip is going to be all over television today. Okay, very puffy. She is hung over. She's really drinking heavily, like Kamala. Okay, hold on. Yeah, they do. Let me pull this clip up. This is AOC talking about Penny's acquittal.
What do you make of the comments? Well, doesn't that, I just feel like that tells us everything. If we do not want violence on our subways, and the point of our justice system is a level of accountability to prevent a person who does not have remorse about taking another person's life. I mean, even people who have engaged in manslaughter or have taken a life accidentally and expressed remorse. And so the fact that a person has maybe expressed no remorse indicates that there's a risk that it may happen again. And if we do not want to unleash that level of violence, then we should exert a level of accountability to prevent that from happening.
Okay, so what she's saying is that Penny does not have remorse for saving the passengers' lives that were being threatened on the subway. So we'll never be safe as long as people stand up to people that want to kill people on the subway. I don't quite understand what it is with Democrats, Steve, where they always come down on the side of criminals and against law. I just don't quite get it. Maybe you guys do. Yeah, you think AOC takes the subway? Yeah. I don't know.
She's voting for it.
Yeah, well, I don't know. With a verdict like this in 2 years, Short District may not be as safe as it used to be for someone. People in New York, the verdict yesterday was shocking because
very vulnerable. Though.
Oh yeah. Well, this verdict, because they tossed out the big manslaughter charge, so they had the lesser charge, right? And I think I was watching all of this because I was kind of like on verdict watch. Every legal analyst everywhere assumed there was going to be a conviction on the lesser charge. And I was watching Dershowitz. He was in shock at that verdict. Everyone was. And it really shows you that New Yorkers are fed up. That's it. They're just fed up with the violence and being victimized.
Right, they were being scapegoated. They were being used by Bragg for political purposes. And they said, no, enough is enough. Stop it. We're going to stop it right here.
Exactly. All right, let's go back to our phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hey, Brian.
Good. Let me tell you, could you state anything better than having President-elect Trump walking into the Army-Navy game, the optics of that with his soon-to-be Secretary...
Yeah, with Pete Hegseth. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, can you state anything better than that?
You know at some point, if they walk across the field together, people are going to go nuts.
Well, I think he'll be up for the toss of the coin. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, how he stages these events are just absolutely incredible.
He would. You notice we haven't heard from Never Trumper Steve, who was predicting Hegseth. Would Trump be taking Pete Hegseth to the Army-Navy game with him if he didn't get word he was going to be confirmed? Come on.
No. And Joni Ernst backing. I really thought she was in this for the duration.
Yeah, so did she.
Yeah, what happened? Somebody got a phone call or something.
Well, there's one thing that's in play that I mean, none of us know what's going on. Lara Trump resigned from the RNC. Okay, so she didn't resign from the RNC because she's got something else lined up. Well, everyone's assuming it's the Senate seat in Florida, and the thought was, well, they're going to make DeSantis the defense secretary in exchange. Well, that's not happening now. It's Pete Hegseth. Yeah, so that's it. It's done. So I don't know.
I still think she's on the short list for the senator from Florida. Don't you think so?
I mean, I don't know. It's the DeSantis is going to appoint the Marco Rubio replacement. There'll be senator for 2 years, then there'll be a special election during the midterms. This is his last card to play to get back in the fold. And it's the same Bush to be the senator, I would.
I didn't think of that one.
Yeah, could you imagine? Would you be shocked? He'd be like the new Romney.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Would that shock you? Would that shock you?
No, maybe not. And I guess the Bush is back in.
And he's tight with Jeb. Jeb was with him at his inauguration.
Well,
oh my goodness.
Here's the entrance back into the fold.
You know, Jeb, the thing, before we get to that, Jeb used to be, I know he's a villain now, rightly so. He used to be a nice guy. Steve and I used to know Jeb. We used to know him. And after he became governor, his ego got to him. And I think what and he thought he was going to be the nominee in 2016. And, and he had a lot of, I think Jeb has a lot of daddy issues because the family would get together. It would be, with his dad and his brother, it would be President Bush 41, President Bush 43, and Jeb. And I just think he's not gotten over the thing with Trump. He's very psychologically damaged, Jeb Bush. He's not the same person he used to be, and he's mentally unfit to be the senator. But he could be. If DeSantis made him, I would not be shocked at all.
That's interesting. That's very interesting because he got destroyed in the debates with Trump. I mean, it's just maybe he was entitled to be the nominee.
The last debate, you were standing next to me. This time you're down there. The next debate, you're going to be off the stage. Oh my goodness!
At Jeb's expense too,
Oh, he deserved it though.
He did.
I didn't feel bad for him.
On that, the Black Lives Matter press conference. Was anybody there listening to that? I didn't see anybody. I mean,
it was on TV. I watched it.
Yeah, but no.
The family was it.
Yeah.
That was about it.
Yeah.
Quick comment for Steve. Watch for Notre Dame to make a run for the national title, Steve. I think it could be their year for the college football.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you know how they get prices out of Vegas?
On the presidential election in 4 years? Is this far out? Yeah.
Steve's pick, I think, really is not that far, but he's the only guy in the Democratic Party that showed any little bit of common sense.
Well, he went to the hospital for like a month and had some brain surgery, and he came back. You know what it was like? It's like that movie. Remember that movie in the 60s? What was it called? Charlie? With who was the guy? The actor, Steve, that played President Kennedy in PT 109. He played this guy who was mentally retarded, and they did some surgery, and then he was like a genius. That's what's kind of happened to Fetterman. He got that brain surgery, and he came back, and he makes all this sense. Yeah. Then the brain surgery, and now he's back to normal.
Is there any chance Fetterman might become a Republican one day?
That you never know. I don't know about that. Cliff Robertson. Yeah, Cliff Robertson played the guy. He was mentally retarded. He got some kind of brain surgery, and then and that's what's happened. That's exactly what's happened to Fetterman. When he was a radical left-wing lunatic, and when you hear him speak now, he's still a Democrat, but he's like makes sense.
A sympathetic person. Now you kind of feel he's had a tough time in that, but
he got back with his wife. I appreciate the call. Now, no, she's not Russian. She's no. She's like from South America or something. I don't know. I want to talk to everybody about Game Day Men's Health. When it comes, I had very low testosterone. Now I've got the testosterone level of a 20-year-old. But, when people think about low testosterone, immediately you think about erectile dysfunction and sex drive, libido, and that certainly has an impact with low testosterone. But, I've learned there's a lot more to having low testosterone. than that. Chronic fatigue, loss of muscle, loss of strength, the increased belly fat, and not anxiety, depression, memory issues, brain fog. I mean, there's so many other things that go along with low testosterone, and all of this, including erectile dysfunction and decreased libido, sex drive, can all be reversed as well if you go to Game Day Men's Health and get your testosterone back to the levels like mine is at that of a 20-year-old kid, which is amazing. And, you know, they'll test your testosterone level right there in the office and tell you what it is. I was in shock, Steve, when I found out how low my it's so low. I don't like to. I've even said it on the air. It was so low. I'm embarrassed to tell you. Give them a call, and I know you could most without question tell the difference in me since I got my testosterone back to normal. I have more energy. I'm more with it, and I feel great. 561-355-5341. 561-355-5341. That's 561-355-5341. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Steve and Brian, JJ from Mass.
JJ?
Hey, Steve, that's pretty funny, Fetterman as a long shot, but I think with a reverse psychotic episode, anything's possible, but I think that you were making me laugh talking about it.
Well, it makes a lot of sense if you stop and think about it.
Well, he's a hell of a lot better since,
Before he went into the hospital, he was like Liberal Al the John. He was like that idiot.
Really did.
He did.
Better. I mean, and so there's something there. Maybe the rest of them can have a stroke on track, but we got Trump now. But Daniel Penny, I was just going to make a comment about his closing argument. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the movie Time to Kill, when McConaughey, Sam Jackson is the
Oh my goodness.
black
Yes.
girl.
Mm-hmm.
At the very end, he tells the jury, he's got them all with their eyes closed, and he's telling the story about the little black girl getting raped, and then he says at the very end to an all-white jury, now just imagine she's white.
Oh.
For the closing of Daniel Penny, 7 women on that jury, he said to them basically, the next time you're on the subway, do you want somebody like Daniel there, or do you want a man there, or do you want some beta guy that's just going to back away?
You mean like the head coach of the Dolphins with the skinny pants? Yeah, I'd rather have Penny than that guy. Yeah. Well, listen, we're out of time, but you're good points. It's Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. Steve's here. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m.
WSFS 104.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, all right? I'll see you later. Take care.